Here we go. Hello, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but welcome to Game Masters right here on the GDQ Hotfix. I'm your host, Fat_TV. And before we get into it today, AGDQ 2023 online prize submissions are open from now until December 30th. Go to gamesdonquick.com for more info. Also, the schedule for Frost Fatales 2023 will be released tomorrow, December 21st. View the submissions at submissions.framefatales.com and let us know what you're hoping to see on the schedule. I am joined here tonight by the one and only Dangers and BP31, who are going to be racing a series of races in Super Mario Odyssey Triple Bingo. And, before we start the races, I wanted to, get the audience a little bit briefed on what's going on. And starting with you, BP, what is Triple Bingo? What are we looking forward here today?
Essentially, Triple Bingo, we're going to be given a 5x5 cards with collectible type of goals that we can complete throughout the game. And on these cards, we'll just be collecting moons, getting some purple coins, getting some outfits, all the way up through the snow or the seaside kingdom. So we're going to see a good chunk of the game and a lot of different sort of routing techniques than you might be accustomed to in a typical speedrun. So I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Awesome. Now, Super Mario Odyssey is, quite the expansive game. There's so many moons. There's so many, different collectibles and objectives that all can appear potentially on this bingo board. And, how do you even begin to, think of a route of going through and completing a line in bingo? And we can start with Dangers on this one.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just game knowledge. I think with Triple Bingo, we only go to Snow and Seaside, which is really good because, there are 880 moons. There's, over 700 purple coins. There's, checkpoints. There's everything that you need to keep track of. It is a bit intimidating. So having Triple Bingo only go to Snow and Seaside means that you only have to kind of, direct your attention to, a smaller chunk of the game, probably, an eighth of it, we would say.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps. But then the other thing is just it kind of adds to the satisfaction of being able to call yourself the master of this game. Because if you're good at bingo, that means you really have a 300 IQ understanding of everything this game has to offer. All the little secrets, all the little nuances. It's a different way to play the game than speedrunning, where speedrunning is okay, I've memorized my line, I just got to get really perfect at my line. Bingo is, I need to know absolutely everything about this game. So it's a different skill set entirely. But it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of practice, but it's rewarding for that reason.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because the way I've interpreted it, and it's the same thing with randomizers and other things, where you can see a speedrun as a straight line to the finish, and then when you go and add in all these little tricks and different ways to play it, it kind of expands it in 2 dimensions. Now you got all this area to cover. And the way it multiplies together just requires so much more knowledge. So it's really impressive to see how you two can go through and route this. And last thing I want to ask, and each of you can answer. We'll start with BP. Who's going to take the series? We're going to do at least 3 bingo races today. Who's going to win?
Who's gonna win? I'm a pretty self-confident guy, but I think I'll give Dangers at least one game. He's a very, very hefty opponent, so I think it'll be a good series. Looking forward to it a lot, and looking forward to playing this game. It's so much fun.
Dangers, what about you?
Well, I think if I get 1 win, then I'll be happy, to be honest. I'm just happy to be on TV. When I think of BP, BP is the bingo guy. There's a reason I invited him to the GDQ Hotfix show today. So let's hope that I can show off my chops. We'll see how I do.
All right, very good. Now let's get ready for our first race, and these two are going to have to spend a lot of brain power thinking of routing on the fly. So here joining me in the commentary booth for today's series of races is awesome Agron. Hello, Agron.
Hi there.
All right.
How's it going?
I'm doing good. I'm excited about this. I'm just super excited to see how these races are going to go. Maybe Dangers can pull out 2 of the 3. We'll see.
Well, yeah, like we've mentioned before, we have 2 very fantastic runners running bingo today. Both very expansive on both their game knowledge and their movement at the game.
Mm-hmm, indeed. Well, let's not hold off from the action any further. Dangers, BP, are you 2 ready to go?
I think I'm ready, yeah. Also,
right.
How long is the countdown going to be? I think just for the sake of showing off the trick, even though it won't probably won't be of use, I'm going to go to the daylight saving screen.
How much of a countdown do you need?
Just 5 seconds.
All right, well, we're going to do a 10 or a 5 second countdown.
Sure.
All right,
5.
Agron, you can do the honors. Get us going.
All right. Ready, guys?
Give me a couple seconds.
Okay.
All right, I am
And
all
just
set.
for the folks at home, once the countdown is done, we're going to say good luck, and then we're going to deafen. The runners are going to deafen, just so that we can kind of materialize our routes separate of each other. But that's just for the folks at home, so that if we go quiet, that's why.
All right.
I'm
ready?
all set.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. Excellent. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
All right.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah, so this clock manipulation that BP did is, I think, one of the most amusing aspects of Mario Odyssey speedrunning. It's only going to apply if planting seeds is going to be part of the routes or so, and all of that is based off of your system clock. And by setting that value to a very specific thing, resetting to daylight savings time, at the precise moment you plant a seed, the switch will jump an hour due to daylight savings time, and that hour will be considered enough to plant or to grow the seed, which is just very amusing.
Absolutely very amusing. Like you were saying, they mainly use that for the Plaza seed in Sand Kingdom. It's basically the only seed applicable for that trick, and as you said, it'll just jump by the hour just by entering a loading zone, and that'll just jump the switch clock by a whole hour, allowing the seed to instantly grow, and it's basically an instant win.
Indeed. Now, this early bit of Cap Kingdom, it's kind of in the clouds, but themed after Cap Kingdom is largely the same. There's not too much variation in bingo, so the runners are spending the time kind of like almost autopiloting through this stage, thinking, what am I going to do? Which lines am I going to complete? And hopefully by the time they take out Topper here, it'll be set to go.
Yep, absolutely. And since the runners are deafened, we can talk about the card a little bit. Right?
Yeah, we can.
All right, absolutely. So the first thing that I generally like to do when I'm looking at bingo boards is I like to look at the Snow Seaside goals. This does two things. This tells me how far do I really need to go to complete the card, and also like how many routes could I potentially have that allow synergy with minimal kingdom progression. This isn't always ideal, but it's generally good to do because, again, it gives us our benchmark for how far do we have to go in the run. And it's not always the best to end early, but it's nice to know. So, looks like we have 30 regional Seaside, 4 moons from sub-area Seaside, and I do see a late Metro goal, the 10 moons from sub-areas Metro. This isn't a Snow or Seaside goal, but it is a very late goal. So, I'm gonna mark that, just keep it in mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some other goals that, come to mind that maybe we might want to avoid: World Peace Wooded. Generally, World Peace goals are pretty slow. They don't offer a lot of synergy, which can sometimes lead to problems because then you're doing a lot of time-consuming objectives for, seemingly no reason. In order to streamline your bingo run, you want to be doing the least amount of things as possible while still achieving, your objectives. And that's where the synergy comes in. The synergies can come in as goals, but also as, the movement that you do in between objectives as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be goal-oriented. So I think that's a very important thing to note.
Also, Danger's pulling off the legendary DSS, the Dino Skip, scaling that wall, and that is one of the hardest tricks, if not the hardest trick, in the entire video game. Now, we already see BP going around and collecting a lot of the regional coins. So if you look at the bingo board, column 4 there, 30 regional coins collected for Cascade. That is a possible thing that BP is going for. And I think that also works very well for row 5, At the bottom right of roll 5 is purchase 3 full costume sets. And I'm not sure, can you buy the costume in the Cascade Kingdom with the regional coins?
Yeah, so the way the costume sets work is each kingdom has a shop where you could purchase a costume or even 2 costumes, depending on the kingdoms. The bigger kingdoms offer 2 costumes. However, the second costume is usually more expensive. Actually, it's always more expensive. I don't know why I said usually. It's 20 coins for the hat, and then 25 for the costume, and then the cheaper one is 15, and that's across the board for all of the kingdoms. The Cascade one in particular, actually, that shop is not available on the first visit of Cascade. So if BP wants to purchase a costume in Cascade using those regionals, he will have to route in a revisit.
Indeed.
I don't think that's necessarily all that bad here, especially with a 4-sticker center. That could definitely work. So let's see, what else here?
Yeah, I've noticed Dangerous hasn't been going for the regional coins in Wooded, or not Wood. I keep on getting everything mixed up. Cascade. I swear I played this game before. So that tells me unlikely to be going for column 4 here. Otherwise, that progress probably would have already started. Meanwhile, 19 coins now for BP, so already getting close to filling out that first square. And 2 notes, this is not lockout bingo. So lockout bingo, you would race to get a square first, and then your opponent could not utilize that square for anything. But this is, non-lockout, so theoretically, if both runners decided to go for the same lines, they could. It's just who completes them first.
Right. So going back to the card, there's definitely some potential route options here. Like I said, the 4-sticker center definitely matches well with all the shopping that you could potentially do on this board. You've purchased 6 moons, you have the costume sets, so that all kind of meshes well together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a good Wooded synergy here as well. 60 regionals, 25 regionals. The World Peace Wooded, I did say I was initially considering ignoring it, but I think here might not be so bad because of all of the Wooded synergy that you can do here.
All right, so Dangers and now BP will both be in Sand Kingdom here. Just looking across the board for the Sand Kingdom related stuff, we've got 6 checkpoints. That is in column 3 and row 4. And we also have 30 moons in the Sand Kingdom row 3 at column 2. So outside of, potentially purchasing costumes or anything in the region, those are the 2 that we are going for. Now, at the very least, you're going to have to get a certain number of moons to, just go beyond the Sand Kingdom, of course. So we'll see if any of the runners decide to go for 30 moons. That's a lot of moons.
Yeah, that is quite the hefty number of moons. So something that I actually just noticed here is we do have a wooded finish on this board, and that's pretty special for 2 reasons. One, that's pretty much the earliest that you could complete a card, and for 2, as mentioned before, it's within the lines that I've already mentioned for, some of our goal synergies. The only line that I was potentially considering other than that is TLBR, the top left, bottom right. But, why go to Metro to plant 5 seeds when you can just do 30 moons in sand and end in wooded?
Indeed.
So...
Yeah, we saw Dangers there go through and purchase a moon, which I saw that on the bingo card here. There's a square for purchasing moons. I can't find it, so maybe you can help me. There it is, row 2, purchase 6 moons.
Yeah. So they definitely could be going for that, 100%. Also, shopping moons are generally fast, so, those could also just be in their potential route anyway. There's a lot of shopping on this card. If you're in the shop, you're probably going to purchase the moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the very least, just getting the costumes there for, row 5, column 5.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of this 8 costume sets, it seems like a goal that doesn't seem too difficult, right? It's just 8 unique costume sets, right?
Yep.
You just buy some.
That's a lot of money,
sets.
though.
It is. It is a bit of currency, and the kicker is the amount of time it takes to buy these costumes adds up a lot, because it's not only just buying them, it's also making sure that you're collecting the necessary regionals and coins in order to buy them. Thankfully, we do have the Luigi hint arts that have became available ever since version 1.2, and that definitely helps us get coins at a much more rapid pace than ever before.
Right. Now, Danger's going to this sub-area basically solidifies for me that he plans to go for 30 moons in the Sand Kingdom. Otherwise, I don't think he would bother coming in here at all. So, yeah, probably some action there on row 3 or column 2.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
already purchasing the 6 moon, or starting the purchase of the 6 moons. Yeah.
Mhm.
That makes perfect sense.
I would say so. Dangers already has a third of the moons that he would need if he is going for this 30.
Oh no, an unfortunate bonk there. A second bonk. And the little tiny Goomba is just dogpile Mario. And
I mean, hey man, accidents happen, especially when you're playing bingo and all the movements on the fly. Like, it's just bound to happen.
yeah, I can't imagine Metro Kingdom because I already call that New Bonk City instead of New Donk City just because I seem to bonk on every single surface. If it exists in that kingdom, I bonked on it at least once.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree with you. New Bonk City, you literally bonk on anything there.
Also, this movement by Dangers here to get up to this platform, like, making it look easy. You have BP do something similar and is collecting regional coins now in the Sand Kingdom. Obviously, to most likely purchase more costumes.
Something to note there is BP kind of dropped the Jaxi off before calling the Jaxi again. At least I think he called the Jaxi. But either way, it was smart because he was able to get something while also moving the Jaxi in the direction that he wanted him to go, and then just jump on him. So, pretty convenient.
I count 14 moons there so far. Gonna get the 15th, marking halfway. Collecting all these notes. And miraculously, both the runners are collecting the same moon roughly at the same time. And we have BP heading back to the Odyssey, or not to the Odyssey, to one of the checkpoints. Again, if you look at the column 3, row 4, we have the 6 checkpoints for Sand Kingdom.
Yep. So when we talk about like routing, and when it comes to routes in general, there are predetermined routes based off of other categories. A category in particular that is really good to study for big moon goals in kingdoms in bingo is a category extension of Dark Side called Dark Side No Revisits. And the reason for that is because in that particular category, you have to get to the Dark Side without revisiting any kingdoms. So that means all of the fast post-game kingdoms that you would usually see in a Dark Side run at the very end, you do not go to those. So you have to fill those gaps in with other moons in the main story. And because of that, Dark Side No Revisits is a great study tool for getting predetermined routes for bigger kingdoms.
Wow, this is a new thing I have. I did not know you could do this. Going through and going out of bounds. I see what you're doing there, Danger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what Dangers just did there, I believe, was the platform clip. That was recently, well, I wouldn't say recently discovered because it was technically already known, but it was rediscovered and established for use in any percent and other categories.
God, it looks so easy to do. Maybe I can do this one. You just hang there, wait for it to push you in, and done. All right.
Yeah. There's definitely specific timing to it, but I'd say the trick is definitely a bit more on the beginner-friendly scale. So if you are looking for a trick to save a little bit of time when collecting these moons, it's definitely not a bad idea to learn it.
I appreciate going in and getting the treasure behind the Sphinx there, just to, one, build your coin count to purchase moons as well as costumes.
Absolutely.
I think we are nearing the end of Sand Kingdom. Dangers just has 8 more moons to go.
Oh, interesting. Dangers is going into the inverted pyramid. Now, the inverted pyramid isn't exactly the fastest, and I don't think there's any link to needing anything in Night Sand or even Peace Sand. So this doesn't really seem like the best way to get the last 7 or 8 moons. Possible that he was just in the area and was like, I can do this, so let's just do it. And sometimes that's all you really need to think about in bingo.
I imagine hindsight plays a lot after you do things.
Absolutely.
I could have done something like this, but there is so much information to process when you're doing bingo at all times, like how you're writing. There's so much to think about that mistakes are going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played a single card where I'm like, I played this 100% perfect. There is no way I could have played it better. There's always something that you can improve upon in bingo. And I think that's something very admirable about it compared to, your normal speedrun. Because as we've mentioned before, every playthrough is going to be different based off of the card that you get. There's always a learning experience.
Indeed.
So it looks like they're both finishing up their 30 moons here. Danger's at 24, and what BP's at? What, 26?
Just got the 26th one, yep. Pretty close, all things considered.
Yeah, absolutely. If we're thinking that they're doing the same routes, which is definitely possible.
Yeah, I think there's at least one difference happening with the 30 regional coins and Cascade. I do not see Dangers going for either of those rows/columns. Yeah.
It could be possible he's planning a revisit, although I kind of doubt it. So probably going for a different one.
I'm going to finish out here. Well, not quite, but this is a triple moon. Defeating this, whose name I forget. And, don't laugh at me, chat, but I always forget the name of the rabbits. And we got Topper, we got Spewworks. This is one of them, yeah. The wild one.
Yeah, so that's Harriet. That is the female brutal. Gotta have some
That's
representation.
right, Harriet, yep.
But, at the end of the day, they're kind of just all hatters, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout outs to Vash. Yeah, Vash always just called them all hatter, which I found very funny. The Dangerous is now in Night Sand. Only needs a few more moons though, so I don't think it's that big of a deal that he did the inverted pyramid. Only seems like ever so slightly slower, right? Sometimes that's all the difference, right? Smart of Dangers to save the story moon for later. This is actually done because he gets to view slightly less animations in the cutscene here. Platform will appear, and because the next objective is kind of technically completed by the game, it's kind of like, oh, so where do we go next? Obviously Dangers knows that, but the game is a little bit confused right now. Looks like Dangers will be doing the moon shards in the sand.
Yep, that will be moon number 30 for him.
It will be, and I think I know why he's showcasing this. There's something funny that happens with the cutscene. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't want to spoil it. Oh, taking a death.
Unfortunate.
Good to see it.
The fact that all these surfaces can be scaled at all is quite powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got our first look at Lake Kingdom here from BP. collecting more of those regional coins, which at least for this one, there is 35 regional coins for Lake Kingdom on there, but again, all for purchasing more costumes as well.
Also, the funny thing's about to happen on Danger Screen, the cutscene.
Yeah.
So, you know that pyramid that's supposed to open up?
Yeah.
Well, it's in the air now. So, what's the game going to show us? Like, what's the perspective here? Oh, it's just nothing. Oh, okay.
There's nothing there.
That's
Perfect.
fun. All right, well, let's just leave them. Which is exactly what Dangers is doing, so.
So both runners now have collected 30 moons each in the Sand Kingdom.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a bit of a time investment, but if it's something that, you planned into your route, it can definitely make up for it, especially if, one of them is going for this wooded finish. I think the 30 moon sand is the biggest hurdle. I think from there, we could see a potentially very fast card here. On average, I would say the triple bingos run to about 45 minutes. I'd say most cards, if you're hitting 45 minutes, you're doing a very good job. But there are some special cards where you can definitely hit lower than that. And we could definitely see that here. As I've mentioned multiple times, there is a wooded finish, so I'm hoping one of them is going for it.
Yeah, I think both of them are going for it here, based off of other stuff. There's so many things that complement each other, like the 12 moons of Lake Kingdom going to the 18 moons of Lake Kingdom, so, it's kind of like progression there for two separate lines.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not so sure about Dangerous going for it, though, because, you didn't mark the 30 regionals, Cascade. So, that is a little bit concerning. Because I think those are the only 3 lines that would allow the wooden finish. So I think this is one of those cards where if you miss the good route, I wouldn't say you're screwed, but you're definitely in for a tough race. Most bingo routes and lines are generally comparable with each other, usually by like a minute or two. Obviously, the execution heavily carries, the performance of the route as well. You can have a really good route, but if you can't perform it well, what's the point?
That just comes with hours and hours and hours in the game.
Absolutely. Execution is an absolute must. Routing is definitely important, but I think what people tend to miss with bingo is it's not just routing, it's the execution within the routing. Being able to seamlessly go from what you're doing to what you're doing next is incredibly important. Oh, there goes Rango. Or Hatter.
Very nice skill. Rango is quite frustrating a lot of the times. In the speedrun, the hitbox is notoriously janky. You need to add land on one side more than the other, and sometimes you'll just get hit for seemingly no reason. Of course, no problem for an experienced runner such as Dangers.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Doing the brutals quick can be a bit of a challenge for some newer players. It's very nice that the boss fights are designed where we are able to skip, the crazy long phases just by doing a simple action. It kind of reminds me of a quick time command, but it doesn't show itself as a quick time command. It's not shown oh, you should do this. It's more do you have the intuition to believe that you can do that?
I see a question from chat of what does triple bingo mean? You could go ahead and refresh us.
Yeah, absolutely. So triple bingo, as mentioned before from our runners, is doing 3 lines on a 5x5 bingo board as fast as possible. The objectives for the bingo board are just pretty much anything that you could do in the game, and you're just trying to complete 3 lines as fast as possible. These can be any rows, columns, or diagonal. I hope that clears that up.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that both Forerunners are still Devin. They're very focused on their. I like it.
I mean, just look at Danger's like stone cold face right now.
Of
Man on a
course.
mission.
Yeah, like Bingo is no joke. I believe it was Dangerous that said it before. It's a very different way to play Super Mario Odyssey. It's not point A to point B. It's essentially point A to point, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like it's not lined up for you. You need to figure it out as you go.
These moons are coming fast as well.
Absolutely.
13 for BP. Danger's about to get his 12th. Yeah, getting the 12 moons, and we'll see very quickly if they decide to go up to 18. BP for sure going for it. Yeah.
Assuming they're going for the same lines, it looks like Danger's is slightly behind. But, I don't think that's that big of a deal. Like, there's definitely still a race here.
See another question from chat here about how the objectives were chosen. The answer is it was randomized. So there are a number of objectives in a list, and whenever you generate a bingo board, it's going to select a random set of those and place them randomly in a 5x5 grid.
Interestingly
and it's up
enough,
to the runners to figure out which ones they want to do.
Interestingly enough, it's not just randomized, it's randomized with logic. So the way the bingo board does it is it's based off of a magic square. So we assigned the difficulties between a level of 1 to 25. Sometimes this difficulty is reflective of how difficult the actual goal is, and sometimes it's based off of how can we, balance the progression of the magic square. And essentially, the reason for doing that is because a goal like 24 moons in Metro isn't necessarily complicated, but it is a late game goal. So it would be labeled usually higher because it's later, but for balancing reasons with the magic square, it's actually like a difficulty 4, I'm pretty sure. So the main reason for doing that is because most of these boards should be ending in Snowy Seaside, and it's to encourage the later finishes for the most part.
And we're starting to see this bingo board fill up fast. BP's got a number of squares there, and they're starting to form lines.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
BP just marked 3 goals.
Yep, all the lake goals. And it's still going. And I didn't even mark them all because still has the moon ones to mark.
Mm-hmm.
That number
Absolutely.
on the Odyssey, jumped up and has
going on with the logic, you can't have like multiple of the same type of goal within the same bingo line. So you can't see like purchase 5 costume sets, 6 costume sets, and 7 costume sets in the same line. That just won't happen.
Makes sense.
So Danger is about to enter a very fun sub-area known as Jump, Grab, Cling, and Climb, or you can abbreviate it as JGCC. Showing off some nice purple coin collection. That purple coin set is pretty, honestly, just this sub-area in general is one of my favorites because it just shows how crazy Odyssey's movement is. The intended way to do this sub-area is to cling onto the yellow railings and slowly shimmy Mario around the fuzzies to prevent him from falling and dying, but instead we just skip all of that and we just do some fancy cat bounce movements, and we're just able to scale the entire sub-area without ever using any of those yellow railings. It's very cool. It's easily one of my favorite sub-areas in the game.
Answering a couple more questions from chat. Yeah, the runners are looking at the same board and can see what each other has marked. There's also a question about, why was a higher goal marked but not a lower goal, given that both of them were sets. And this is triple bingo, so only 3 lines are needed. So them not marking an earlier line most likely means that that is not a line they are going for.
It could also be a situation, like BP mentioned before, he likes just marking whatever he likes to complete. However, I don't think he marked the 12 Greens Lake, so I think he lied to us there. That's okay. Honestly, he's pretty focused. I totally get it. Honestly, might not have even seen the 12 Greens Lake on the card.
Yeah, looking at this, I'd say most likely what we're going to see is BP going for row 3, row 5, and column 4. And then Danger's going to be going for, I would guess, given that he has not gone and looked for any stickers, would be column 2, column 5, and row 5.
Yeah, that definitely looks accurate. Danger's opting for a later finish. Not necessarily worse off than BP's route, but like I've mentioned before, finishing earlier is generally pretty good. It's not always the best answer, but I think on this particular board, it's definitely better than what Danger's has. So BP will probably be finishing within the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Very, very fast time.
Absolutely.
Coming up here. Yeah.
Found the fast wooded finish. Honestly, what more can you ask for? BP was hoping to get a sub 40 run. This is probably the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, he should be able to purchase his final set of costumes here. Now with both runners here in Wooded Kingdom, we definitely see Danger's going for Metro Kingdom stuff, so a later area finish versus BP who wants to just end it here. We're gonna be done here unless he needs to go to future kingdoms to purchase the copy, which I'm not 100% sure he needs to do.
No, but, I do not think that's the case. He's been pretty diligent on collecting what he needs to be able to finish in Wooded. We might see a backtrack to Cascade, but I doubt it. I don't think he needs it.
Yeah, I have not been meticulously keeping track of how many costumes you purchase.
I haven't been keeping close attention, but based off of what I've seen, he shouldn't need... I don't know. He honestly might need to backtrack to Cascade, but I think that's all we'll see.
That's also very quick.
Absolutely. But it's also possible that he did. So what it ultimately depends on is, did he purchase both of the ones in Sand? I don't know if he collected 60 regionals in Sand. That would be the only way he'd be able to finish in Wooded without any revisits. If he got both of the ones in Sand, gets both of the ones in Wooded, and has the one in the Lake, that's 5, and then he can purchase the remaining 3 with yellow coins. Speaking of, let me actually go through how that works. So after you complete most kingdoms... Oh, BB taking a note there. After you complete every kingdom, it adds a purchasable costume that you can purchase with normal coins into the shop. And this will add up over time. So Sand adds a costume, Lake adds a costume, Wooded adds a costume. I think the only kingdom that doesn't add a costume to the shop... Well, actually, there's 2. Lost and Snow. Those are the only ones that don't add costumes to the shop. Again, this is important for making sure that BP can collect and retrieve all of his costume sets in an orderly manner. without needing to backtrack if he chooses not to.
Every time I think they're gonna fall off into the abyss, but no, it's fine. These runners are great.
No, yeah, there's definitely some death-defying stunts that you'll see in Odyssey. One that actually just happened on BP's screen is the tower skip. He only did it for the regionals. However, you could do that to just completely skip the inside of this tower and go straight to Spirit.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, shout outs to the OST here. Just absolute banger.
Yeah, Odyssey is great music. No complaints. Although, unfortunately, I don't think it's the best Mario OST. I feel like that just has to go to Galaxy no matter what, right?
I don't know. I have a pretty soft spot for Galaxy, but I think overall, Odyssey.
Like, if we're talking about just the music alone, Odyssey has some tough competition with Galaxy. Anyways, here's Spirit. I think he's supposed to spew poisonous sludge at you, but we don't really
Not
care.
for a speedrunner.
No, yeah, like he's already finished. Like, wait, he's supposed to do something?
Nice triple moon.
Interesting. They're both fighting Spirit at the same time. They were fighting Spirit at the same time.
Yeah, I love seeing the different routes come to a common point at several points.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think this is pretty much over for Dangers because, like I mentioned, if he is doing the lines that he suggested, I don't think he has enough time to be able to get to Metro and do those sub areas before BP finishes.
Yeah, all BP has to do now is really finish purchasing the costumes and then clear out Wooded Kingdom, and it is done. I guess still needs to go find 4 stickers, but I do not know how many he currently has.
If he's been visiting each of the shops, he is going to have 3. Like, this will be his 3rd one. So actually, yeah, he needs the 70 regionals because you need the 10 from the sticker as well. So if he got 70 in Sand, that's pretty crazy. I don't think he did that. I think we're going to see Cascade revisit.
Yeah, I don't think he got that many either.
70 Sand regionals is very hefty. I don't think he did it.
All right, here comes the shopping trip.
So BP will be purchasing each of these costumes with the yellow coins. Each of the costumes is 200 coins apiece. The hat is 50, and the actual outfit is 150.
There's the 4th sticker.
And, you might be asking, what about the boxer shorts? Isn't that a costume set? Well, yes, but also no. So, in
Not
the
a
game...
2-piece, it's 1 piece.
Yeah, in the game, it's technically labeled a costume set. However, because it's only just the 1 piece, we actually dedicated its own goal to it in Bingo. Wear the boxer shorts. What a banger goal. Definitely one of my favorites.
I hope we see that show up sometime today.
I hope so too.
Yeah, look at that. Just the 25 regional coins, which has already been completed, and BP just hasn't marked it off yet. And we'll be going through and doing the last couple objectives in Wooded Kingdom. We should be done here in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, it just needs to get peace and...
Incredibly fast time. Yeah.
Apparently he doesn't need a revisit because he did mark it. So that means he did collect 70 regionals in Sand.
My goodness. Well, I guess since they both collected 30 moons in Sand Kingdom, that checks out.
Yeah. I think the reason why I'm kind of surprised about that is because most of the regionals in Sand are kind of like locked behind sub areas, and then there's a few specifically that only unlock once you do peace, and there's just some just only on the story progression that you wouldn't obviously go for if you're not going through the story progression moons. So
Yeah. I also see we have wear the boxer shorts on this bingo board, but neither runner choosing to complete one of those lines.
So, we did see it, it's just not being completed.
Again, getting that sync up. Gotta love to see it.
Yeah, so BP will be ending very shortly with a very fast first board.
Jeez.
This is quite the impressive finish.
Probably would have taken me like an hour and a half to do this board.
I mean, hey, everyone starts somewhere. I think my first bingo board back in 2018 was like an hour and 28 minutes. Granted, the goals weren't balanced back then. Like, I think there was a 70 regional sand goal back then. That was fun. Spoiler alert, it wasn't.
I swear this boss fight is eternal.
Yeah, Torch Drift is not very interesting. Not too much to
Dangers
talk
has
about.
completed his first line, unfortunately. BP is about to complete his third.
Very good use of synergy with this route. I saw this route and I'm like, this pretty much has to be it. Like, it's an early
There it
finish.
is. That is time for BP.
Yeah, it has great synergy on top of that. What time is that?
I was so close to sub 40. I was using live split, but I don't think it was quite
That
there.
was really fast.
It was a little bit past it. It was around like a 40, 15, depending on when you stop
Yeah.
time.
You stop time
40.
immediately after you grab the multi-moon.
Okay,
that's
I think it's
okay.
like a 40, 30 or 40, 25. Yeah, so.
That's good.
GG.
We'll
GG.
get him next
GG.
time.
GG's
We'll get him
danger,
next time.
GG's.
Sub 40 for sure, next board.
Oh yeah, easy. Surely we'll get a board
well
like that
played.
again.
I wasn't expecting a wooded finish out of this one. As soon as I saw the purchase eight full costume sets, I was like, okay, this one's gotta go to Metro by the looks of things. But
No.
Yeah,
we scoped it out.
Dangers. We were actually discussing that, how there's kind of like red herring goals in terms of progression. BP
For
brought
sure.
up a few ones earlier. Costume sets can definitely seem like that because it seems like you need to do a bit in each kingdom to get them progressively. However,
Yes.
they do unlock over time in the shop as well, and maybe that was a fact that you missed.
A little bit, yeah. I think it was just there are some tasks that appear very daunting, but sometimes aren't if you kind of know what you're doing, and that one was one for me. So
Absolutely, 100%. Even though you didn't get to showcase your route, I do like the idea of synergizing the Metro sub areas with the moon shards. I think that's very cool. 95
Yes.
is obviously built in as well, so you definitely had the right thought process there.
Yep, it's just that one line allows you to finish in wooded, and a Metro route is never going to be able to beat that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
The-
I think the only other line that could maybe even potentially be considered here is TLBR, but why go to Metro to plant 5 seeds when you can just finish a wooded?
true.
So
Yeah, the
well done to BP.
relating
Excellent
to
performance.
your point about the
But hey,
8
we got 2 more
costumes,
games. So
the costumes, typically that's a void that's the
I'm
English,
having the
English.
time of my life watching Triple Bingo.
typically that is
Honestly, I can't, think of a better way to spend my time.
typically
Go for it, BP.
typically that's a goal that I avoid for every early finish, but I was doing the counting. Am I muted?
You're
I still hear you.
good. We got you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, was confused. But yeah, when I'm routing early finishes, typically I want to
Wait,
avoid
why
goals.
can't I hear BP?
Oh, that is weird.
Oh, that would explain. Yeah, that would typically have.
Why
I
is
would
this
ti-
user button? Oh, that's why.
I would typically.
All right, we're good. Go ahead, BP.
I would typically.
Sorry, on my end.
I would typically try to avoid goals like 8 costumes because I know that the only yellow coin costumes that are allowed are unlocked. You get 3 unlocked in wooded. Basically, the way to think about it, every big kingdom that you have, you gain another access to a yellow coin costume. So with sand, you get a
Right.
second one. With wooded, you get a second one. With Petra, you get a second one. And with seaside, you get a second. Well, a fifth one. Sorry, I said second every time, but
Yeah, another one. Yeah.
it's really
No, yeah.
it's really annoying to have to get a whole bunch of purple outfits along the way. Like I was debating going back to Cap in order to get my last sticker and my last costume set because Cap purple coins are really quick. But I decided to get 10 extras in Wooded. That way I could get the sticker and then both costume sets. But that's a lot of purples. Like you needed 60 already, so the 10 extra isn't that many. But 70 is not easy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
I was saying, I wasn't paying too much attention to your perspective in Sand BP. Did you only end up collecting, like, 25 regionals and then go back to Cascade to get your extra set and sticker, or did you stick it out in Sand?
So what I did in Sand, I routed Sand a bit weirdly. I haven't actually made a 30 moons in Sand route because I don't think there's any categories that really would ever do that except for like all moons, no revisit, which nobody runs, and I don't even know if there's a route for. So I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I wasn't sure how to route the 30, so I just got all the moons that I could think of with platform clip because I wanted to show that off.
Yep.
And I ended up at 29, but I was thinking, okay, if I'm at 29, I can just go revisit through the painting and lake to get my 30th, and that's a pretty quick one because all the rest of them are like trace walking, herding sheep, Jaxie sub area. Those are all pretty slow. So
Yeah.
I was thinking it would probably be just as good to get it through the lake painting. And then similarly, I decided I only get 17 moons in lake and get my 18th moon as the lake hint art in Cascade when I revisited to get my sticker and purple.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. So that's when you did the Cascade revisit. I was a little bit lost there because I wasn't paying too much attention to your Sand perspective. So I'm like, did he really tough it out and get 70 regionals? There's no way. Yeah, it would have been wild.
And either way, I would have needed 4 stickers, so I had to go back to Cascade.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, sure. Just the Cascade backtrack makes way too much sense there. I just missed it, so I was paying attention to dangers at the time. But yeah, great first race.
Yes, GG's. That was a good board.
Thank you, GG's. It was fun.
GG's, both of you. And yeah, again, GG's to BP for almost getting the dreams up before we started the show. BP's like, God, I hope we get at least one. That'd be a super awesome cutscene. But I only have
we got
one
2 more.
question for you both
sure.
right
Just
now. And
one.
that is, are you ready to go again?
Oh, you bet. Are we taking any breaks this show, Fan?
You know, I'll leave it up to how you're feeling. You can either take a break right now or after the second race. So I'll let you two decide based on how you're feeling.
I'm
I can do
feeling
another
hot.
one right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling
All
hot.
right, let's continue with the fire. We'll take a break after race number 2. So let's go ahead and refresh the bingo board, get a brand new thing. We're going to be going at it again. We'll see if we can get 2 fast wooded finishes. In
That
a
would be
row,
crazy.
maybe, perhaps. Yeah.
These cards are incredibly rare. So very lucky to have rolled it. Unfortunately, the reason it kind of stinks that this is why we didn't quite get this. I didn't quite get the sub 40, but I got an extra moon when I was doing my wooded route just out of muscle memory from all moons and darker side. So if I'd skipped getting that, I definitely would have had just slightly under the target, but
Yes, the classic muscle memory, kind of intervenes within the route for what you're doing on the bingo board. Yeah, that's definitely something that can happen if you run a lot of different categories.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got the new card ready to go. Dangers, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
BP, are you ready?
heck yeah. I'm warmed
All
up.
right. I'm gonna give the countdown this time from 10.
Sure,
Ready
go for it.
in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck.
Good luck.
Have fun.
Good luck, Dangers.
Lift off, baby. Good luck, boys. All right, a new card, a new experience. So fun. I'm just going to make sure that they're deafened before I start talking about stuff. Okay, cool.
All right. We're good.
All right. So
We're working on
you
getting the
need
card revealed for you on stream, but we can go ahead and talk about what's there so you can get an idea of what we're
yeah.
going for here. Go ahead, Agron.
Immediately, something that comes to mind is, remember when we were talking about the 6 runes from music notes, that very pesky red herring goal? Well, it is on this card.
Why is it a red herring goal?
It's a red herring goal because you wouldn't think that 6 music notes would force you to go all the way to Seaside.
But it does.
Yeah, you need to get every single one, so there is no flexibility in the way that you route this goal. Sadly. But the only other music note you could potentially get while still getting 6 is in snow, and it's after getting peace, so you're never seeing that. You are never seeing that one.
Perfect.
So, there is no flexibility in how you route this goal. And it's essentially a seaside-only goal. Like, you're not going to see people going to snow with this goal. Anyways, enough talking about 6 runes from music notes. We also have 8 Sphinx questions. This is a bit of an interesting one. So
doesn't that also involve going to Seaside?
Yes, that does walk you to Seaside. So the reason why 8 Sphinx questions is interesting is because there is an optional Sphinx that you can go to in Wooded that just provides the one question, right? And there actually is a goal called Answer 6 Sphinx questions, and that finishes in Wooded because you have 5 in Sand and then the one in Wooded. The thing that makes it interesting is the fact is that you could opt to get the one in Wooded for 1 less in Seaside, and I have done that on a few cards. And the reason why it's good in Wooded is because it allows you to open that like central hub of the map earlier, and you could do that to collect like purple coins earlier. Pipeway first if you want. There's definitely a lot of interesting ways to route that goal. So I don't know if we'll see anything fancy like that there, but it's food for thought, right? Let's see. What else? I see some total sub-area goals. One in particular pairs well with the 26 Metro. Metro is kind of the kingdom where you're like, okay, that has a lot of sub-areas, and indeed it does. Metro alone has 14 runes from sub-areas that you could obtain. So let's see if there's potential for any early finishes here. I don't think so. At least not like super early like last card. I think you could probably see a lost finish here. But the thing that could be potentially annoying about that is that there is a 90 runes total, which kind of acts as the idea of potentially doing the lost finish, at least for TLBR. We could potentially see C1, C2, row 4, though. However, I don't really love that either, because there's a lot of, the moon goals already there, so maybe they do end up going for the 90. It's not the worst idea. I've definitely seen it work a few times. There's also all regional coins in 2 kingdoms. This one, you generally will only look at the small kingdoms to collect all the regional coins in that kingdom, because why would you collect 100 when you can collect 50 for the single? So, anyways, with all that in mind, do you have any input on this card?
I'm thinking of how, there's so many of these that I think wouldn't be too bad, like the 20 unique captures. At the same time, I don't know how I'd personally keep track of it unless I have a physical pen and paper. I'm going through. I'm going to do my best, but, already going through, I've lost count of how many each of them I've captured already.
Yeah, we could actually talk about that for a sec. So when it comes to note-taking and bingo, note-taking is absolutely 100% allowed. In fact, I encourage it if you're a beginner. 100%. I think note-taking is a great way to kind of minimize the stress of the process and allow you to be able to track better, which is definitely nice. It can definitely help, break down the goals a bit better while you're playing. More experienced runners like BP Dangers and myself probably do not need the notepad or need to take notes at all. So
now I already see a hint as to what the first hint I've gotten of where our players are going to be going for. 90 moons, potentially. given that there's a lot of stuff involving Lake Kingdom, so that's a pretty safe total to reach to. But also, BP heading into this sub area. See column 2 there at the very top. 4 moons from sub areas in Cascade Kingdom. Danger's also going through and doing the same thing. So I think both of them have identified that as a potential line, either row 1 or column 2, potentially both.
This also pairs great with the 16 moons Cascade, because when you think of fast Cascade moons, you think of the ones in the front and the one above using the Dino, and that will equal you up to 12 moons. There is the 8-bit behind the Waterfall moon that would put you at 13. So at max, you could get 13 on the first visit without entering the sub area. However,
the dinosaur plus 1 capture. I said the dinosaur plus 1 capture as well.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm talking about moons. But with the sub areas, if you complete 2 of them, that'll put you at 16 if you get the other 7 that I mentioned. So it actually lines up very well with the goal. And you can even consider doing all purple coins in Cascade as well. And I think that's what our runners are considering here.
So BP has not collected any, as far as I can tell. I need to get a quick look at his interface. Yeah, so no regional coins collected. Meanwhile, Danger's at 25. I think that's something Dangerous is definitely doing, trying to get all the regional coins, at least in Cascade Kingdom, because I don't see anything else we would be using regional coins for. But given, definitely right there, BP just bypassing those regional coins, definitely plans on getting those in potentially other kingdoms, or not even at all.
I have a feeling he'll still consider it. When it comes to the all purple coins in a kingdom goal, or in this case 2 kingdoms, you generally are only looking at the smaller kingdoms, like I mentioned. Why collect 100 when you can just collect 50 to obtain the same thing?
Exactly.
So you're looking at Cascade, Lake, Lost, and on the rare occasion, Capper Snow. Probably not those last 2, but definitely the first 3.
Yep, so that will give us an idea of the lines that BP is going to be going for. But Danger's for sure. Definitely going for either row 1 or column 1. Again, potentially both. We don't have enough information yet, but 35 regional coins for Seaside, I feel, takes quite a bit.
I unfortunately do not think we're going to see either runner go to Seaside this time. It's just not exactly ideal. I don't see any good line synergy that you could do Seaside on this board. And we'll probably likely just see a mixture of C1, C2, row 4, or TLBR.
That seems like a plan to me.
Yep. Those are the 4 lines that we have notated that would work. And I think they mesh really well. Sometimes when you're playing bingo, you run into 3-line syndrome. And what that means is you have just this other line that's hanging. It's like, it could be really good, but you don't know what you would replace it with because your other lines are good. So it becomes a problem of, how negligible is the difference between these lines? And the realistic answer is there probably isn't, and it's probably comparable. But it's just, funny that you sometimes run into these situations where you're like, I don't know what to pick. I have 4 good lines and I need 3. So definitely something funny that could occur, and it looks like that this board has that potential problem. So BP might still be thinking about that 3rd line.
There's Moon 16 for BP there. Yeah, Dangerous is 3 coins away from getting his 50 for column 1 there.
Absolutely. And part of the benefit of doing the all purple coins in Cascade is you need to go to the end of the sub area to get 4 of the purple coins anyway. There's 4 at the very end of the Chasm Lift sub area, and that's a bit time consuming.
Dangerous. Takes a wrong turn and plummets to his death there at the top of Cascade.
Happens to the best of us. Did he at least grab the regionals?
No, he just missed them. I think he was trying to throw the hat to get them. Missed the throw, and then I was like, if he grabbed the regionals, it's not that bad at the time. Hey, he's also going for the moon over here.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
There we go.
Never mind.
You could just blame. Nah, the game 8 is input or something. Yeah.
I mean, that does technically happen. Like, that is a thing that can happen in the game.
Oh yeah, anytime I ground pound instead of dive, it's like, oh, yeah, I'll blame it all the time.
Yeah, the community actually has the community has actually come up with 2 different names for the different types of misinput dives that you can have. We have the value dive, where you have the misangled cap dive, where Mario just barely misses Cappy and falls to his death, or you have the chaos dive, where you input a dive, but he ends up ground pounding for too long, so you lose most of your height and probably die. Most of those situations usually end up in death. Shoutouts to both Chaos Prinkle and Value. Runners of the game at certain times have coined their history with their interesting names of the different ways that you can mess up in this game.
All right. That is Cascade Kingdom done for both of our runners. I do not see them coming back at all. Unless for some reason BP decides, I'm gonna go back there and collect all the coins, which at this point, not a chance at all. If he's going for column A there, he's going to be getting them in other kingdoms.
I think 100% if BP is looking at an all purple coins goal, he's probably looking at Lake and Wall at this point, because those are realistically the only other 2 viable options with this board.
Yep, and given column A has 18 moons from Lost and 20 regional coins from Lost, that definitely makes sense. And then also 30 regional coins from Lake. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go through and do the 2 all ones from the kingdoms I need to get a certain amount from anyway.
Yeah, I think personally it probably mostly comes down to preference with this board, because Cascade regionals are generally fast enough where you're probably not going too far out of your way anyway. But with Wake and Lost, it can be really difficult to do both moons and regionals. There's a lot of very tricky locations in the kingdoms, which I'm very sure we will see BP show off some very interesting strats to collect some of those regional coins.
Dave's is definitely working towards the 6 checkpoints in Sand Kingdom, but outside of that, I don't see, like, are the seed plant ones considered moons from nuts, or is that something else? Okay, so that's like the Wooded Kingdom type ones, right?
Yeah, moons from nuts is specific for Wooded Kingdom. Speaking of that goal, how many nuts do you think are within, the main story of Wooded Kingdom? Like, how many nuts do you think you could get from... How many moons do you think you could get from nuts in the main story?
In the main story?
I'm generally curious how much you
50.
Ooh. So that's a bit high. However, you're very close if you're including post-game. Post-game, I believe, has 16 nuts.
Okay, I may be thinking post-game, yeah.
For main game, it's 12, which is actually still a substantial amount, to be honest. And the interesting thing about that is you could get 10 of them before beating Spirit. Like, I have done routes where I get all of the nut moons before Spirit, but that is all of the nut moons for beating Spirit, because there are 2 that open up when you beat Spirit. So there is a bit of routing flexibility with this one.
And BP almost done here with Sand Kingdom, just running over here, getting a checkpoint. Needs to get a handful more moons or to close it out. So although there aren't any goals specifically involving moons from Sand Kingdom, you still have to play the video game in order to progress to the other worlds, and that involves getting a certain number of moons. Right here, and you can see them if you're not familiar with Super Mario Odyssey. On the top left of any runner screen, there's like dotted outlines of circles, and that's how many moons are needed in order to power up the Odyssey enough to move to the next world. So that's kind of like the minimum they're going to be getting here. And I think both runners here are just going to get the minimum since there's nothing related to goals here in Sand Kingdom on boot count.
It looks like both of the runners have went for both checkpoints and Jaxies, so there was a little bit of deviation from the 80%. So it's not completely identical. Capturing the Moak. Very nice. When it comes to captures, you're generally trying to capture everything that's within your path. I think for 20, I think we'll actually see BP not go into the deep woods. I don't think it's necessary here. I don't think there's any reason for BP or Dangers to go into the deep woods here. So I don't think we'll see them visit the deep woods, despite it usually being a hub for captures. You can capture the tree there, you can capture the rock there, and you can also capture the coin coffer. Those are 3 captures pretty much specific to deep woods, with the exception of the coin coffer, but the other locations for the coin coffer are way too specific and way too out of the way. So.
I think now that Sand Kingdom's done, we have a clear idea of the lines we're going for. Column 1, column 2, and row 4 at the very least for BP, and it seems Dangers is following that same set. So I think both of them are going for the same lines this time.
Yeah.
So it's purely an execution battle and how well they can wrap this on the fly. And again, although Dangers, is still in Sand Kingdom with BP heading on, remember the column A there, all regional coins and 2 kingdoms. Dangers already has one of those complete, collecting all 50 of the regional coins in the Cascade Kingdom. So only has to get all of them in, well, either Lost or Lake. We'll see which one he decides to go for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I'm Dangers, I'm probably thinking APC Lake, just because it's a little bit safer than APC Lost. However, if Dangerous is feeling spicy, we might see APC Lost for him as well with BP. APC Lost with 18 runes is always a treat.
We also had a question, chat, of why are we playing in Chinese for the video game? And the answer for that, of course, is, as with most of the times you play in a different language, it is faster than English. How, like in an 80% run, I don't know if you know this off the top of your head, Agron, but how much time does it save?
I believe the difference between Chinese and English for an 80% run is 11 seconds.
Yeah, so it's not a huge amount, but it is enough to affect the speed run.
I mean, the 80% run is just barely under an hour. That's 11 seconds is quite a hefty chunk of time for a simple language switch. And think about it this way. The longer the run is, like the longer the category that you're doing, the more time you're saving from the language switch. We don't have exact numbers on the other categories. But.
Yeah, so for Darker Side, which is like a 3-hour plus run, you can triple that value.
I wouldn't say it's directly triple, but there's definitely probably a generally close correlation. And the reason why I say that is because the second half of Darker Side, besides talking to Toadette,
you're not getting too many cutscene text.
You're not really going through a bunch of text, so you're just going from kingdom to kingdom and getting rings. Darker Side is a fantastic category, by the way.
Maybe I'll add that to my category list to learn.
You absolutely should.
Right now, I'm just an 80% runner with a time I can brag about being slower than most people's World Peace Run, which is a longer category. But you know, it's a tough game.
You'll get there. No, yeah, I mean, this game is not particularly easy. I think it's easy to pick up, but the further you go into it, the deeper the rabbit hole gets. This game has a very high skill cap. Unintended.
I see Danger's just going through and getting a couple captures for the 20 unique captures in column 2. And also just closed off the 10 regional coins for Cap Kingdom. So yeah, that basically confirms it 100% that our runners are going for those 3 lines. So 10 moves from Nuts, we're going to finish up in Lost Kingdom this time.
it's a little bit difficult to determine who's ahead right now, actually.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure BP's ahead.
Yeah,
but it's still really close. Because even though Dangerous is a bit behind on, Wake progression, he doesn't have to collect regionals like BP.
Yeah, just the minimum amount to cross it off. So 30 regional coins for Lake Kingdom. So yeah, we'll see if Dangerous decides to continue on, get all 50. So that will be sometime made up in Lost Kingdom, not having to go for any of the regionals.
Although it does look like he might still consider all the purple coins in Lake, because like you said, he already needs 30. Might as well go all the way, right?
Yep. He's got to pick one of them to do. So this one makes sense.
Yeah. And again, BP choosing to ignore the Cascade regionals is definitely a strategical strength, because you already have goals related to the regionals for both Wake and Lost, so you're essentially just adding 50 more regionals to what you already have to collect. Well, Dangerous had to add, 80? Maybe 70? I'm not sure which one he's going for. So
I would like to take this opportunity to give a big shout out to both of our runners, Dangers and BP. Find them at twitch.tv/Dangers and twitch.tv/BP at 3142. Both of them fantastic people. Do a lot of Super Mario Odyssey. I know Dangers in particular expanding into other 3D Mario games. Been on the Mario 64 grind lately, which is another fantastic speedrun, one of the classics. So be sure to check out both of them. They all deserve a follow. A wonderful GDQ audience.
Absolutely.
Do you have a single favorite goal in bingo? Like, it's like, oh god, I just love getting this on.
I have a least favorite goal.
And is it the music notes?
No, it's actually 8 unique life parts.
Oh.
Yes. I am not a big fan of the life apart goal to begin with, but then on top of that, for 8 specifically, if you're trying to, look for an early finish and you see 8 unique life aparts on the board, or, say you miss it, you're already down a life apart and you need every single one of those life aparts if you're going for an early finish. It's quite stressful because it's one of those goals you have to dictate during that Cap and Cascade brainstorm. Because there's the one in the Top Hat Tower, and then there's also the other one in Cascade on the top before you fight Madame Brood. And believe it or not, that life apart disappears after the first visit of Cascade. So that is actually a missable objective.
What? Oh my goodness. That's awful.
So if you leave Cascade without that life apart, you're done. You can't get it. It does not come back upon revisit. So it's not a very forgiving goal at all. Going back to, favorite goals, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I am definitely a fan of, let's see, I'm trying to think. Favorite goals. I think, honestly, the sub-area goals are really fun, and I think that just goes to show how fantastic Odyssey sub-areas are.
Chat's asking me what my favorite goal is. Well, see, here's the thing. I've never played bingo myself. I'm commentating this on the fly with my rudimentary any percent Super Mario Odyssey knowledge. So I haven't really got a chance to play, but just from seeing things, so I've seen 2 boards worth of goals. Just buying the boxer shorts,
No, yeah, I mean,
that's a pretty good, or wearing the boxer shorts. Yeah.
No, the boxer shorts are great. I mean, if we're talking about goals that are fun but not necessarily good, World Peace Metro definitely goes up there. Who doesn't want to listen to the festival? It's not a fast goal at all. In fact, it's probably one of the worst goals you could do.
But hey, it's a cool goal. It's more of a that whole sequence is like a reward for the player. It's like, thank you for playing the game. It's
absolutely.
such a great setup.
It's just too bad that it's a little bit slow, right? And on top of that, the goal itself doesn't offer a lot of synergy. We've considered adding goals surrounding World Peace Metro to maybe give it a little bit of a bump, but there's just nothing too interesting to add there that, doesn't exactly reflect World Peace Metro itself. We thought about Sewer Treasure. That's just the sewer man that you can get while going.
I gotta ask, why did BP buy the snorkeling gear?
Why did BP buy the snorkeling gear?
I've been trying to reason this out. I don't get it.
I guess probably for purchasing a hat. There are
purchase 4 hats. Yep.
Yeah.
I think I just kind of associate it as it's not a hat, it's goggles. But, it's still headwear.
No, yeah.
I can't believe
that, it's whatever the top piece is.
I cannot believe that, it's not a hat. I'm going to say, all right, time to redefine what a hat is. And bingo. It's got to be on top of the head. You're not allowed to wear goggles as a hat.
Since we're on the topic of costume sets, Odyssey has a lot of costume sets. Do you have a favorite?
Oh, gosh. I don't even know them all because I never bought them all. I'm going to look it up right now. Ask me again in like 5 minutes.
Sure, go for it. I think some of my favorites are the musician outfit, the sunshine outfit. If we're talking about one specifically from the main story, the samurai is a very cool outfit. Definitely a big fan of the samurai. The explorer outfit's kind of cool. The hat's a little derpy, but if you mix the explorer outfit part with other headgear, like one that I particularly like is the samurai hat with the explorer outfit, that's definitely a fun outfit combination you can do. Another good piece of headwear is the mechanic cap that pairs well with a lot of different outfits. You'd be very surprised. Believe it or not, if you don't feel like picking your costume, Odyssey does have a built-in randomizer for outfits. If you press Y, I think it's the Y button. If you press Y on the menu where you're picking the outfits, it will just randomize it for you. I don't know if it's completely random. It definitely seems to favor certain costumes. Like, I've seen a painter costume get picked over and over and over again while using that feature. But definitely, if you're a little bit indecisive on what costume you want, you can definitely let the game pick what you're going to wear. Definitely a cool feature. Anyways, back to the run. So we have BP in Wooded collecting nuts. Dangers is still in the lake, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I think it's safe to say BP definitely has a bit of a lead. Being ahead by basically a whole kingdom. Because Danger still has halfway to go in Lake.
Yeah, just a couple mistakes earlier on. Tough time getting one of the clips in Lake, and that little bit of a costly death in Cascade Kingdom definitely set him back a little bit.
Yeah, it happens. Again, this game is not very... Think of it similar to 64 in that way. Like, one mistake can just end your existence. BP having some very clean movement around that. That's not exactly easy movement to do, so... Also, Danger's getting to show off the jump, grab, cling, and climb sub-area. Always a treat. So here's the real question. Is BP on sub 40 pace? Not sure.
That'd be wild.
No. I mean,
That'd be
don't...
so wild. I
mean,
feel like
I don't-
Wooded Kingdom is just going to take too long. But then again, he's already almost done with it. Doing essentially the 80% wrap, but making sure you get all of these nut moons here.
It could. I mean, BP is doing a great job of cleaning up, doing as little as possible to still ensure that he's doing his work. Bit of a capture check there from BP. Capture check is when you open up the menu ever so briefly, show the audience how many captures you have obtained. Because
That was
thankfully,
too fast for me.
thankfully the game does have an in-game capture tracker. I mean, to be fair, it's also useful for the run. It's nice to know where exactly you're at, how many more captures you will need. BP probably deciding, does he need Deep Woods or not? I think he's fine. I think that said 14. So, he's probably fine.
Alright, I've looked through the costumes from Odyssey. And,
Sure.
you know, I'm a big fan of the Aviator. The Aviator costume,
Aviator.
that's my style. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, honestly, that's a pretty solid choice. It's not really a costume that I think of, but now that you mention it, it's definitely a very flashy costume.
Yeah, that or the chef costumes also. That would be my runner-up.
The chef. Yeah, very nice. I think personally for me, the chef outfit has lost its value over time for me, specifically because I also run a category called Talk a 2%, where we get every moon based off of what the bird Talkatoo suggests. So, he very much seems to like the luncheon out. So, I have a lot of my runs in Ruin where I'm just wearing the chef outfit, and this is just silly at this point. So BP done with Wooded. Wow. Definitely fast. What does he have left? Just needs to purchase a few more hats. Actually, I think just one more. So he needs one more hat. He needs 2 more captures? Hopefully he only needs 2 more, because that'll put him at exactly 20. And there's only 2 available in Lost. That's the reason why I say that. So hopefully he doesn't need to backtrack or anything. So this is a bit of a case of same route, but the execution difference is just massive, right?
Right.
We're just leaving Lake, but BP has already entered Cloud Kingdom. It just goes to show that every little, is correlated with the route that you decide to do. Like, they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Well, you can. It'll just be performed poorly, I guess. Alright, so now on BP's perspective, we have a treat for you guys. 18 loss with all of the regional coins. This is such a small kingdom, but it's also considered to be one to maneuver in the game. And that especially shows in Bingo. Because, again, most of the movement is on the fly, so you're constantly thinking. This is definitely probably one of the prime examples of a small mistake can lead to your death. There's, purple poison everywhere. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, as they say, or in this case, don't fall in. So, I'm definitely watching BP's perspective here, because I myself struggle a bit with this combination.
This is also quite the punishing kingdom because at the start, you're playing through this casually. The way this kingdom starts is your cap gets stolen. By the bird.
Yeah, so let's actually talk about that. So, speedrunners were like, "Yeah, no way, I'm not dealing with this sequence." So, at first we had the maneuver where we jump onto the cage and then go to Klepto. But nowadays, more modernized, we have the strat called Meme Tree, as shown by BP. You just do either a cap return or a dive vault from the tree over to the top layer of the kingdom where the mountain road is, and you're able to skip the entire Klepto sequence. You could still get triggered by Klepto until you move by Klepto yourself, but it's useful because we're able to maneuver through the kingdom in different ways without attracting Klepto's attention. It's not necessarily disabling the trigger, but we're inhibiting it from... So I know that I just had you go on very nice research about outfits. What about captures? How do we feel about captures? What are some of your favorite captures in Super Mario Odyssey?
Sorry, can you say again?
I
did not pick it up. I was having some microphone.
You're good. Since we were talking about outfits, what about captures? What are some of your favorite captures in Super Mario Odyssey?
Well, in terms of fun, one of them that I really like is right here. These little extendo worms. It's just very fun to play.
Great choice. Yeah, Tropical Wiggler is a very fun capture. Definitely, being able to extend them in different ways. It's a very cool mechanic. Sure. I think personally for me, definitely the best capture in this game from both a gameplay perspective and a fun perspective, definitely for me, the Gushin. I think the Gushin is very well designed. So you have this capture that is able to move very quickly while on water, but also can use its water supply shortly, still being able to move quickly through the air in a essentially water-based kingdom. So, you're essentially making the Seaside Kingdom just a very easy roadmap to just go from point A to point B with the Gushin. And I also think it's probably, one of the only captures in this game that also had a very well-designed boss fight made around it. Brigadier Mollusk Lancer, Dolphin Bubbling third. I don't think I said that in the correct order. But that is his name. That is definitely his name in some way, shape, or form. EP, unfortunately, taking a death there. I don't think he grabbed the moon there. I think he didn't grab the moon before dying. So, unfortunately, gonna have to go back. Not that big of a deal though. And there's the 50 regional coins with a trick called Twist and Turn Up Treasure. Some might say it would blow up your runs. Yeah, the Odyssey community is sometimes clever when it comes to the names and tricks. It's actually funny because the name of the trick is just the abbreviation of the name. So it's not like we didn't even come out we didn't even come up with that. The developers basically gave us that one.
I'd love to see it.
Absolutely. Sometimes the developers know what's up.
All right, well, we are almost to completion here. We're at the final set of moons here for BP.
Yep.
There's one and one more to go. What's it going to be?
I'm trying to think. What did he miss?
Oh, he's going to the complete other side.
I guess he's just gonna get captained. 'Cause I don't even know.
All right, Captain Toad for the finish.
Usually when you're
Comes,
routing,
and that's time for BP. Another just incredibly optimized run, just routing on the fly. That was very cleanly executed.
yeah,
making
super
the
fast.
making the early call to skip Cascade Kingdom purple coins. Definitely, I feel contributed to this victory.
It's definitely riskier, but again, you're netting yourself 30, 20 less purple coins. Like, it's definitely the move.
We were just thinking about that at the last second there.
I did not, and it's funny because
All
BP,
good, it's
the
all
funny
good.
thing is, I also messed up my 18 lost route when we were practicing earlier. I don't know what route I messed up here. I still have to look that up.
But yeah, GG's to both of you. Two very fast boards. And God, this is so much fun to watch. I'm already learning so much about Odyssey. I was like, okay, apparently there's a menu that shows you how many different captures you've gotten, which goes like, how are they keeping track of all this? Like, oh, it's in the menu. That's so cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, the game developers did not anticipate us having a goal to track life of hearts. Ooh, hiss. I mean, it's not the only annoying one, but yeah, for sure.
I mean, more or less, I just knew I had to go into the sub area anyway, so I figured if I was going to be kind of doing my trek around Cascade, then I was just going to get all the purples there. That was kind of what I thought, first and foremost. Mostly execution errors. I lost lots of time on just dying when I didn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. The same thought went through my head with Cascade, but I honestly didn't even notice the time that we had 20 regionals in Lost and 30 regionals in Lake Synergy. I was just like, I know that I need to go for Lost APC because it looks cool and is most definitely the fastest.
Really quick, one thing. BP, are you muted in OBS?
Am I muted in OBS? I am not.
Right.
No.
All right, go ahead and keep going. Yeah, we'll just having some audio issues we're figuring out.
Okay. Apologies. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I see the bar going on my OBS.
Yeah, we're good. We've got it. So
okay.
Go ahead and continue.
Yeah, technically Lost APC is like to the point where it's so fast that even if you don't have any regional synergy, I would be willing to go for it because I think it's like 3 minutes for any percent APC lost or something, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
Which is crazy because any percent lost is 2 minutes. So, yeah.
That's true.
Pretty quick.
I think I would have been hooped on captures anyway because I'm pretty short. I think I would get, 2 more? Well, I guess I didn't get the binoculars. So I would have gotten binoculars in Lost, and I would have got Wiggler in Lost, and I would have been short too still. So
Right.
How many total captures are there in the game?
52.
46? 52, that's right.
There are
So
52
many.
captures in the game.
Does that include Bowser?
Yes.
Does,
Okay.
yes.
Bowser is a capture in the
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I still love that the first time I ever played the game, I was like, wait, I gotta do what?
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Wait,
right.
hold on. Spoiler alert for 5-year-old game. Wait.
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we never see that far in Bingo.
Never.
No,
This
yeah,
is so far the
exactly.
furthest we've gotten, Lost Kingdom.
It is 100% a spoiler. Whoops. But yeah, I'm just curious. Were either of you considering TLBR as one of your lines?
I noticed it and decided not to.
Understandable.
90.
I saw it as an option. The 90 Moons is probably not good
Yeah.
for this, though.
Definitely. The main reason that it's nice is because you're already getting, I think, 83 in this round.
I think you're already getting 86. All right.
86, 83, one of those two. I thought it was 83, it might be 86, but the reason I decided against it is because the things that you would take out already synergized with all regionals and 2 kingdoms. So essentially it's whether you're getting 4 souvenirs versus 6 checkpoints in sand, and the 6 souvenirs isn't too much of a time loss because you're getting APC in both Lake and Lost or Cascade and Lost. So you can buy the souvenirs just in those kingdoms. But I thought that the 6 checkpoint sand would get me around the kingdom in a way that would let me do some captures and stuff. And I didn't really want to think too hard about where I was going to get my souvenirs and what my 4 to 7 extra moons would be.
No, yeah, that's 100% fair. I just saw it as a potential option.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's definitely comparable. Like, I don't think there's too much difference in the routes. I was definitely saying, during the card, how I'm like, oh, there's 4 good lines, and you pretty much swap them out however you want. That's fun.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
So.
All right, very good. Both of you GGs on another race, but we are going to head into a brief break. So go ahead and get up and stretch, get some water, everybody. Don't go anywhere because there's going to be more Odyssey Bingo right after this. And welcome back to Game Masters right here on the GDQ Hotfix. I'm your host, Vant_TV. We've just seen 2 blazingly fast, almost sub 40 bingo seeds, and I can't wait till we get into our 3rd and final one of the evening. Before we do, if you want to follow what Games Done Quick is up to, use ! links in Twitch chat for all things GDQ. Also, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick, both with Hotfix and with AGDQ 2023 costs. So please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily GDQ content. Dangers, BP, do you think we're going to have a 3rd one that fast?
It'd be pretty remarkable if we did.
It would take some pretty good luck on the board. But who knows? Maybe.
I want to see some Metro Kingdom. So I'm kind of hoping we get a little bit of a longer one to see some Metro. How often do bingo seeds go to, or bingo races go into Metro and beyond?
I'd say that's like the most common, is like finding yourself either in Lost or in Metro by the end.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty rare to have a seed go all the way to Snow or Seaside. Pretty rare for a seed to finish in Wooded or in Lake.
Right.
So usually, it's like a bell curve, I guess you could say, right?
Makes sense.
It's actually funny because I was discussing like the logic behind like magic squares and how some goals are specifically like lower difficulty than they should be to balance out the fact that most boards should be ending in Metro Snow Seaside, and then we get 2 boards that completely just don't.
Yeah, right.
All right,
there we are.
Let's go ahead and get right into this one. And, I counted down last one, so Nagard, if you want to do the honors for our runners this time.
Sure, I will. Are we going from 10 or 5 this time?
Your pick. You could do 7 if you want. It doesn't have to be on this board.
Yeah, you know what?
I'm kind of feeling a 7.42. Can you do that?
I don't think I can count.
I could approximate it. I'll approximate the 7.42. Okay. Here we go. 7.42. 7. 6. 5.
4. 3. 2. 1. Go.
Good luck, Dangerous.
All right. Don't say I never did anything for you. Best of luck to our runners.
Good luck. Good luck. All right, round 3.
All right, so
interesting. So 7 moons from Nuts is almost like a free space, which is ironic because it's in the center of the board. And why is it a free space? Well, because you get 7 moons from Nuts in any percent.
Mm-hmm. And we're probably going to be doing Wooded.
I imagine we're going to Wooded.
All right, so looking over here, we've got Snow Kingdom, we've got Metro Kingdom. I'm looking for some easy stuff here, but we may be going a little bit further this time.
Yeah, just a bit. We're slowly incrementing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
boiling the frog, so to speak.
Yeah. So I do see some goals that are Snow Seaside Walk. You got the 8 moon Seaside, you have the 1 fountain, uncorking it. You do have to uncork it. You do have to pound the switch to uncork it. It's not just collecting the story moon. You have the 3 barrier moons in Snow. And then you also have some later Metro, like 9 story moons, excluding multi-moons. That part's very important.
Yeah, that's a lot to do.
Yeah, 9 story moons is not exactly... I'd say that's an underrated. So when you think of story moons, you're like, oh, there's a good bit of story moons, right? Yeah, not quite.
I mean, in the later kingdoms, well beyond the bounds of bingo, for sure. Like, I know Luncheon Kingdom has a ton of story moons in it, but... Yeah.
Luncheon actually only is 3.
Oh, is it only 3?
Yeah, so when you're... Yeah. So when we're saying the story means, we're saying the single story means. We're not talking about
Yeah.
So that kind of, leaves it, a bit empty-handed, because you would think that there's a lot of story means, throughout the beginning of the game, but there's actually only 5 through Wooded.
Ooh. All right.
And then you go to Metro and you can get 4 from the musicians, so it's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then obviously Snowy Seaside, you have Fountain.
Yeah, but I'm looking at column 3 right now as potential. In terms of like what makes sense for me, because if we do 7 moons from Nuts, like you want to probably take advantage of that. But also 10 regional coins in Lake, I feel is a very easy goal to get. So you may also want to do like the bottom row.
Yeah, absolutely. So it definitely looks like we are locked to Metro. So we will see Metro, guaranteed.
All right, let's go.
So now the decision is, do they go to Metro? Or do they go just a little bit farther to Snow or Seaside? And I think there's potential argument for both here. It's just going to be a matter of what they decide is good with the synergy. I do see 8 runes from sub-areas Metro, and like the 7 runes from Nuts, 4 runes from sub-areas Metro, basically a free space. We do that in any percent. So, if you're doing any percent in Metro or something of the sorts, you're probably getting that goal. Oh, speaking of another interesting goal, 9 treasure chests. How many treasure chests do you think appear up through Wooded Kingdom?
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of ones I know exist. And I think the only one I know exists is the one in Sand Kingdom, so there's at least one.
There's at least one. Well, you are indeed actually correct about that. No, so up through Wooded, there are 10 treasure chests.
I got one of the digits.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's a lot of treasure chests in the early game, and there aren't any in Lost, and there's one in Metro, City Hall. That's it. The dumpsters don't count as treasure chests, believe it or not. Even though some people might argue that garbage is its own special treasure.
So you said we're almost assuredly going through Metro, but why are we almost assuredly going through Metro?
We are 100% having to go to Metro, because if you the goals that are Snow Seaside and Metro, there are no 3 lines that you can do that would allow you to finish any earlier.
Interesting.
In fact, there is only 1 line that you can do on... 2 lines on this board that you can do that will finish earlier than Metro. So you are automatically locked in. And those are the 2 diagonals.
Okay.
Alright, so in terms of, other interesting synergy options, you do see, this card has, a lot of, collectibles on it. So you have timer challenges, you have 8 bits, and you have treasure chests. Generally mixing and matching these is a little bit dangerous, because they don't tend to synergize with each other. There are a few exceptions. I feel like, 8 bits and music notes have a little bit of synergy with each other, because 2 of the music notes are in an 8-bit section. Timer challenges, you have a little bit of synergy there, but it's not that much room of synergy. Timer challenges is also another... a lot of timer challenges are locked behind getting piece in a kingdom. So you might think, oh, there's those 3 in the sand overworld, but you kind of need world peace for that. So it kind of limits the amount of timer challenges that you're not going for peace. Do you have anything to add regarding this card?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. I'm looking at some of them just for my knowledge. No, I'll say I'm asking, just so the chat knows. Asking for a friend. The friend is me.
Yeah,
so
of course.
A couple
Absolutely.
of these ones that involve unique captures, or so we got 26 unique captures. You mentioned the 2 diagonals are ones you don't need to go through Metro Kingdom for. And so how many moons do we have from 8-bit sections early on? How many captures? How does it take to get to 26? Stuff like that.
Yeah, so this is generally going to vary based off of where you're going within your route. I mentioned in Game 2 that Deep Woods is generally considered as a necessary need for captures, but as you saw, BP skipped it because he only needed 20. Generally, the cap is 26 for Lost. If you're collecting every capture up until that point, it would be 26. Could be 27 if you decide to do Knuckle Attack, but it's 26 for Lost. And then there's actually 2 captures in the Goomba Picture Match minigame. You might think there's only 1, but if you were to capture Mario's nose, I believe it's the nose. If you capture the nose, it does count as capturing the Mario piece early. So there is that. As for 8-bits, there are 7 available up through Lost. That would be if you got all of them. So that's the 2 in Cascade, the 2 in Sand, and then 1 from each of Wooded, Lake, and Lost.
I'm looking at timer challenges as well. And I know there's one at the very top of Cascade Kingdom, which I think we saw BP go get. But I'm trying to remember where all of those are.
So the timer challenges, as I mentioned before, some of them are locked behind Peace. However, if we're talking about the ones specifically not locked behind Peace, you have 2 in Cascade, you have the 1 in Cap, which is a backtrack, that's backtrack only. You have the 2 in Lake, you have the 1 in Wooded, that's Deep Woods, and then you have the Crowd Room in Metro. Those are generally the ones that you are going to consider in triple bingo runs. The other ones are locked behind Peace or are just kind of slow. Interestingly enough, there is a timer challenge that is also an 8, but you do have to go all the way to Seaside. So maybe we'll see some interesting synergy there. It's the only timer challenge that is like that in the whole game.
Alright, so we have dangers going through the inverted pyramid here. Definitely going for that 50 regional coin box. Right there in row 1, column 3.
Yep. I could definitely see that.
And given the 9 story moons, I highly doubt we're doing that, so probably column 3 is on the radar for dangers here.
Yeah, column 3 is not bad, like you mentioned before. It's generally a well-rounded column that should work with most lines on this board. It does lock you into Seaside, though, so you gotta keep that in mind.
It does.
But I don't think that's necessarily too bad here.
Is that after Metro Kingdom?
Yes. After Metro, you have the fork in the road of choosing Snow or Seaside.
Right.
Now, I'm not sure if you were wondering this, but I will bring it up because it is an there have been some boards, these are very few, very rare cases, where it's actually technically optimal to visit both Seaside and Snow in your bingo.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and the way this usually happens is if you get something like 10 moons from Seaside, and then you also have like 1 checkpoint Snow, or 10 regional Snow. something really simple and easy in snow. And what that ends up doing is you usually end up just, doing any percent seaside, and then you end on whatever snow goal that is. It's rare, but I have done it before. It is optimal sometimes. So I'm trying to think why Dangers would have went through the inverted pierce fight here.
Was it just for the coins?
It's possible that it's for the chests, because, do treasure chests here. It could be for the 8-bits as well. However, with the 8-bit, you don't have to go all the way up to the top. It is a 2.5 minute investment. So if you don't really have anything going on after fighting Harriet, it might not really be all that optimal to do so.
Yeah, it seems like he's going for the treasure chest moons. And the 8-bit ones here. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. 8-bits are definitely on the table. There's no doubt about it. I don't know if I saw BP collect any 8-bits. Did you see BP collect any 8-bits?
I don't think I've noticed it.
Okay, all good.
I'll not rule it out. There's a couple more in Sand Kingdom here. Let's see.
Nah, of course, absolutely. Besides the 7 that I already mentioned for 8-bits, there's also the Crowd Room in Metro Kingdom. And then on top of that, there's the Ocean Maze in Seaside. There's 2 there, plus the specific timer challenge one that I mentioned. So there's actually 3 in Seaside. Seaside definitely being a bit of a 8-bit hub. So far we've just seen BP get some Cascade Moons and also called C from 3 sands. Or, sorry, 2 sands. I can't read. It's a 2. There is a 40 regional sand goal on here as well. So maybe we'll see some synergy there. Although, I'm not 100% sure on that. Because I don't really consider C4 to be all that good. And the other alternative is row 3, but that blocks you into snow. So you're probably not doing both of these goals there.
Definitely not.
You could potentially see row 1, row 3, though. That would definitely work. And the story moons actually synergize quite well with the sub-areas in Metro and also the barrier moons. So I actually kind of like the, I kind of like the, I'm going to call it the F route. It's in the shape of an F. You got row 1, row 3, C1. It's not too bad. It definitely has some promise.
I'm kind of just like mesmerized by the Odyssey movement on display here. I catch myself just like staring. I'm just like, wow. So neat.
Nah, yeah, that is 100% fair. As, a runner myself, it's, kind of just like a day in the life. Also, Dangers and BP are better at the game than me. So it's kind of like a slightly higher threshold that I'm looking at.
Yeah, here's an 8-bit moon coming up for BP here.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Yeah, so Dangerous went all the way into the underground. Is he going to Knuckle Attack? Is he doing this for the timers?
Maybe?
I mean, I did mention that was a possibility. I'm hoping he's not thinking.
Nope, the treasure chest right there.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that he's thinking that
That's it.
he wouldn't be, doing this with the 9 story moons, because that does exclude the multi-moons.
Mm-hmm.
So I do hope that's not what he's going for.
Yeah. So he picked up the chest there, so that confirms that we are going to see row 2 as a target for dangers.
Right.
Though I thought he already got 12 moves from Cascade, so maybe he's going back there to do something else later.
It could be a revisit. I'm definitely a little bit perplexed by the decision to go all the way through the under. I definitely understand the fact that there is a chest down there, but it's also like, if you're going to Metro, there are chests that you can cut, and I think ideally it would be the story-based ones in Sand. The one inside the pyramid along with the one round. Especially the one underground. I think you could justify the this as well, which we did see, so. BP having a very nice clean weight clip. Speaking of weight clip with treasure chest moons, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there are 2 treasure chest moons back to back within 30 seconds of gameplay here because of this clip. Weight clip is essential for this goal.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just too fast to pass up. It's funny because I'm not really, too involved with, the any percent scene for the speedrun for this game. I'm more involved with, some of the side things like bingo and some of the longer categories like darker side. But I specifically learned clip just because of how broken it is with chess. It's just too good to pass up. Too much good application there to not learn it.
Yeah, no, I didn't really consider this, but is Danger just completely skipping Lake Kingdom for now?
He chose to go to Wooded first.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think why. There could be a reason with that. So there is a painting chain in this game, and by going to Wooded first instead of Lake, it's going to alter the painting chain. So I think his idea is going 2 moons from Hint Art objective, because it's going to pair up his Hint Arts with the paintings that he's going through.
Yeah, that would make sense of going for row 2. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I believe that's what he's going for with this. I'm not a huge fan of the route, but I think it's flashy. So at least we'll be able to see that get shown off. Yeah, so BP's definitely going for 8-bits. I'm pretty sure he did go for the 8-bits in Cascade and the ones in Sand as well. I think he skipped Inverted Pyramid, and that's because he will be finishing in Metro. So if you are cutting out an 8-bit and a chest, it's going to be from the Inverted Pyramid.
Yeah, if Dangerous has to go all the way to Seaside with definitely appears so with the lines he has chosen. Definitely gonna need to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision. It could also, just be that, we just want to see Seaside at the we just want to see snowy people. I think that's generally the idea that's going on. However, BP has been playing so fast that we still might not get to see it.
Yeah, I'm just so mesmerized by the movement. It just looks so cool.
No, yeah, the sub area again is such a treat. Well,
yeah, this one in particular is wild. There we go, getting another treasure chest moon.
Jump grab, cling and climb is good. This sub area is easily one of the best sub areas in the game.
Making my way downtown, walking fast.
Uh-oh. Danger's taking a death there to Spewart.
Okay.
Got a little off on the cycle. It appears.
Yeah, a little bit.
It happens.
For sure. I mean, mistakes while playing bingo, that's almost definite. It looks like BP forgot something. Wackatoo. Yep, makes sense. Just forgot his captures in general.
Yeah, that's good. Danger's needed that. Canceled out the Spirit death right there.
Yeah.
Now, obviously going to be getting the 7 moons from Nuts here from Wooded. Also, we'll see. I haven't been paying attention to how many checkpoints have been gathered, but yep, going through and getting 5 checkpoints down there on the bottom left seems like a possibility.
Yeah, so 5 checkpoints does require beating Spirit. There are actually only 3 active checkpoints, technically 4 if you go through the painting, after beating Spirit, or before beating Spirit, but there's only 3 in the overworld on that first visit before beating Spirit. So, a bit of a red herring, you know, not as much as other, of course, but definitely a bit of a knowledge gap potentially. Could be like, oh, where is this checkpoint that is supposed to be here on the summit path?
Right. I know there's a couple of instances where depending on where you're at the story, like a checkpoint will disappear, you can't use it. Like,
Yeah. I was actually just about to bring that up. So there are some checkpoints in this game that will just straight up not be usable at certain points of the kingdom's progression. This is primarily seen in both Wooded and Luncheon. Luncheon especially.
Interestingly, not getting either of those 2 checkpoints he just passed. I'm sure there's a reason for efficiency. But he is going back up here again, so. I think that was 4, so next one should be 5.
Yeah. Funnily enough, just on the way to World Peace Wooded, you just get 3 checkpoints by default. The Summit Path, the Iron Mountain Path, and then the checkpoint behind the Torch Drift Gate.
Right.
Like, it's definitely a little bit wild how many checkpoints are just in that one area. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. I feel like checkpoint distribution, something this game kind of falters with a little bit sometimes. I feel like they should have been spread out a bit differently throughout Wooded Kingdom especially.
So Danger's still going through Hint Hearts. That confirms it.
Oh yeah. I think at this point he knows that it's not exactly optimal, but he still wants to show off the fact that there is, you know, that flexibility to work with the painting chain. So instead of this being a painting to Luncheon, this is a painting to Sand now, because he went to Wooded first.
That's right. The paintings do change depending on the route you choose to take. Something I did not know until I learned about speedrunning.
Yep. And as I've mentioned before, this specifically lines up well with the Hint Arts if you pick Wooded first, because it lines up both the Sand one, you know, because you can go directly from Wooded to Sand via the painting, and it also applies to Metro as well. You can go from Metro to Lake. It has the corresponding Hint Art kingdom with where the Hint Art is located.
Awesome. It all makes sense now.
It does.
As a reminder, everybody, you're watching Odyssey Triple Bingo. We have this bingo board you see in the middle of the screen, bottom middle of the screen, and our runners have to complete 3 lines in that board. So either left to right, top to bottom, or along the diagonals. 5 consecutive squares, and person who does that first, well, there's your winner.
So some of you might be wondering, why do dangers have to look at the... Well, it's because the game doesn't like us already knowing information. So the flag for those moons to appear is to look at the art. You are required. The moons would be significantly faster if you didn't have to look at them.
Yep.
But, we obviously know where the moons are. We just need to look at the art because it is a flag with the way those moons work. So, Dangers looks ahead, but remember, he hasn't been to Lake yet, so he's got some work to do.
Does need to go to Seaside at the very end.
That too. But just like from a standard perspective, if you didn't know like what order Dangers went in the kingdoms, you would be like, oh, wait, he's ahead. Oh, he hasn't visited the lake. Never mind.
And it is not over till all 3 lines are obtained. So,
of course, I mean, anything can happen. Bingo has had some interesting upsets and meltdowns in the past in terms of like tournament matches. BP skipping the bunny on purpose. Interesting.
it'd be potentially for the, going about the checkpoints.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I don't think they need extra moons in Wooded. Unless if I missed something. No, they do not. I think they just did that because they realized they added extra moons and they still need the 8-bit and the 7th nut. So, I think that's what happened.
There you go.
Because normally when you're looking at the bunny, it's like, that's not a moon that I would skip. Usually, because it's generally a fast moon. Getting his rocket capture. The rocket is actually a pretty fun capture, not exactly by design, but by the places that it's placed around throughout the game.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't consider that being a...
Yeah, we've actually considered adding like a specific goal, like around capturing a unique amount of rockets. Because they really are placed in really interesting locations, and I think it would make an interesting goal. So, obviously, there's the one in Sand, which you don't unlock until Peace, so there's that. There's the one in Wooded that BP just captured. There's the one on the outskirt island in Metro, and then there's one in Seaside. So, I honestly do think capturing rockets would be a pretty interesting objective, just because of like the way that they're located through.
Here's Captain Toad at the bottom of the sea.
Yep. The very bottom. Fun fact, if you wanted to, you could get down there without using a cheap with the base 3 health. Barely, but you can do it. I think there's actually an NPC that mentions or wait, no, I'm thinking of the lighthouse in Seaside where they're like, gee, I think you'll run out of air, something similar along those. But it's kind of funny that the game devs did like mention that somewhere. Usually, the NPCs aren't all too helpful in this game. It's just like, I might give you a moon. Maybe I'll have something useful to say. Probably not. I mean, there's literally an NPC in this that just says potato. And to be honest, that's probably just the best NPC in the game.
Right. We are at new content. Bowser. For the first time we're actually ever seeing Bowser. Wait, no. We saw him last time.
Yeah, we did. We did. We saw Bowser in game 2. Actually, I don't think I talked about the Bowser fights in this game in the previous game. So, the way Bowser works in this game is he throws hats at you. There's a bit of a trick called fast hats where you can cap throw at his hat at a somewhat specific position, and you're allowed to take the hat earlier than the mechanic intended you to, and you can kind of skip a cycle. And that applies for each of the phases. So definitely speeding up that fight by a significant bit. Definitely useful. It's not a super difficult trick, so like honestly, even if you're like a 120 or 110 runner, I would consider adding it to your arsenal. Oh, BP got a little bit stuck there. He tried still making. There is a way to make that even if you don't quite get up there the first time. He's trying to use wall jumps and homing cap throws to be able to maneuver his way up there, despite not having the walls that switch gives. Oh, I want to say that was Valley Dive, but it could have just been like a misposition of the cap throw.
This kingdom is terrifying.
It is. There's death at every corner.
Definitely, like I consider the first big difficulty spike in any percents at least. For me.
No, yeah.
That was a big wake-up call.
No, yeah. As you learn more the game, you'll realize that some of the earlier kingdoms, like Sand and Wooded, are just brutal. Getting a run past those is quite the task sometimes. Due to tricks like Nut Clip and Platform Clip, Plate Clip, just like all these clips, right?
So many clips.
You know, they each save a little bit of time, but failing them loses a lot of time. Sometimes just ends up killing your run. So, Dangers is in the Lost Kingdom at the same time as BP. However, I still think BP is very much ahead. He doesn't have nearly as much left to do.
Yeah, and I think is doing some faster lines.
Yeah, BP definitely picked better lines here. But I think Dangers kind of realized and kind of just wanted to show off the hint arch synergy, right?
That's so cool. Yeah, I would never have thought of that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like almost only applicable in Bingo. Like, I mean, you sometimes see it in some of the categories, like Darker Side. We sometimes line up the hint arts appropriately in the route. I believe All Moons also has a similar situation, so it definitely exists. It's just not as common.
We already saw BP succumb to it, but this entire kingdom is surrounded by purple goop. That is instant death, as we see right there. from Dangers falling into it, done. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't even get like the thing you do when you jump into lava or fire, where Mario kind of jumps out. It's like, no, it is just instant death. That stuff's nasty.
No, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit interesting that they decided to put a king with this particular condition to die so early on in the game. Because, you know, like you said, it's a bit of a difficulty jump. Even
and it's everywhere. Like, you're jumping over it, and there's so many spots. Yeah, maybe Mario's like allergic to grape juice or something. Like that could be it.
I don't know. Maybe. Something interesting BP just did is if you buy a hat and then buy a moon, you can basically eliminate the cutscene for putting on the outfit because Mario's just grabbing a moon anyway. So
how nice.
you can put in an outfit for 0 time loss. Which is exactly what BP just did.
Gotta love it.
Absolutely. You know, gotta add some flair to your run, right? BP performing the twist and turn up treasure moon again. Yeah, it's just, you know, the developers basically handed us. We didn't have to think too hard about that. TNT. It can blow up your runs. Alright, so BP is making his way to our final destination, the Magic Kingdom. I haven't been paying too close attention to his capture count, but he should be fine. Pretty sure he went to Deep Woods. I imagine he has 22 or 23 captures right now.
I love the Metro Kingdom as well. Despite bonking everywhere, so much fun. This was the level. I remember when the Mario Odyssey first came out. I was like, I'm not sold. It's like, no, this level, New York City and Mario, basically. And I'm not a big fan then. Well, turns out I was wrong. The game's great.
No, yeah, and it's just like almost a perfect playground for Mario's new moveset.
Indeed.
You can go vertical, you can go horizontal, like, you know, there's just so much potential for, like, just crazy movement between buildings.
Hey, that is new movement for the climb I was not aware of. I may implement that myself. Love that.
Wait, so I'm kind of curious, what do you do there, usually?
At the start, I go straight. And then do the wall bounce off, whereas BP went and kind of like jumped straight to the rising and falling platforms with the little yellow Goombas.
Yeah, so that trick, wait, I don't think I'm allowed to say the actual name of the trick, so I'll just replace one of the words. Yeah, that trick is known as Goomba Heck. Basically, yeah. So basically, yeah, that trick is a lot harder than it looks. Significantly harder. Because you have to do a roll cancel and get to that platform in a way, and then also be able to line up Mario so you can do a Shireen bounce. Shireen bounce, or however you want to pronounce that tech. That tech is essentially throwing out Cappy basically right in front of a wall, so a Mario immediately gets a bounce. So it's it's a bit trickier than it looks.
That looks so cool.
I believe it saves like 2 seconds over a normal City Hall climb. Yeah, I think it's 2 seconds. Because you're essentially getting a slightly faster cycle by not having to wait for the platforms yourself.
Very nice fights. Of the boss whose name I forget.
Yeah, that's Mecha Wiggler. Arguably one of the worst bosses in the game, just because it has RNG elements. RNG elements in my platformer Mario game? No thank you.
Yeah, aiming, because you've got, travel time, you've got arcs, you've got the Wiggler just moving around. It's so hard to one cycle. And you are on a time limit. You need to get all the hits on all the individual little eyes. And done by dangers as well.
How many unique patterns of this boss do you think there are?
How many patterns?
Yeah, how many unique patterns did this boss do you think there are?
12.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know the exact number myself. I believe it's around 18.
Okay.
I'm just throwing out a number there because I'm pretty sure it's 18, but like less than 25. I don't know the exact number. Yeah, which is kind of curveball because every single time I ask you that type of question. But I'm not the any percent encyclopedia, so I do not have that knowledge, nor do I wish to learn all the different wiggler patterns to save frames. No thanks. Not interested. So, Danger's showing off a trick called Scooter Clip there. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You just drive the scooter into the cage and you clip. Oh, but wait, there's more. So, what you're not seeing behind the scenes is Danger's is actually tilting his controller. So, the scooter has a hidden mechanic where if you tilt your controller, it tilts a little bit, along with, already being able to tilt with the stick. So you're essentially tilting so far in that Mario's hitbox collides with the moon inside the cage.
Yeah, that was the fact I missed, because I just watched a run. I was like, okay, I do this. Little did I know, yeah. Turning at 90 degrees was required.
Yeah.
Alright, there is 7 moons from 8-bit sections, 26 unique captures, and, we're going to see BP done before collecting all the moons in Metro. So
Yeah,
this is one of the biggest sections of any percent. Need to collect 20 moons in here in order to progress. So Dangerous has 11 there, but basically that's all BP needs. Doesn't need to go to Seaside Kingdom, so it doesn't need to clear Metro Kingdom like Dangerous does. So just needs to go purchase some costumes, complete some timer challenges, and we're done.
Yeah. So BP just has to go back to Cap to get that last timer challenge that I mentioned. I was listing off the timer challenges.
Yep.
In order to do 7 without peace, you do need, if you're not going to Seaside, but I don't think that's that big of a deal, because that Seaside timer is slow anyway. As interesting it is, it would see the rare synergy, the timer challenge that is also an 8-bit, it's just not worth it. It's too slow. Synergy is only good if it's fast in the context that you were speaking of. So it looks like all BP needs to do is just shop for a few things here. What does he need? He needs hats? Oh, just costume sets. He will be finishing up here quite shortly.
Another great performance from BP.
Absolutely.
Just can see the lines.
Yeah, there's definitely, a level of consistency to appreciate at a top level here.
Yep,
Being able to
there it is.
consistently nail cards at 45 minutes or less, honestly, that's all you can ask for, really.
Yep, that's time, by the way, I think. So
And what was the time?
it was just around 45 minutes or so.
Very nice.
Wait,
Yeah.
hang on. He miscalculated the captures. He needs to go back
No.
and go get some more captures. It's not over yet.
Okay, was it just the Paraguma, or did he...
All right, there we go. That's time.
Okay, yeah. So thankfully it was just the... Which is within that kingdom anyway, so... Obviously, he's not looking for specific captures, but if he was missing more than one... That would not be fun. Or fast. But yeah, anyways, well done to BP. Clean sweeping Dangers. Wow, that is a tongue twister. I didn't exactly expect that to be a tongue twister. sometimes you're just trying to say something, and it's hard to say, and you just didn't expect it.
Yeah, but still, wonderful performance from both of our runners. Although Dangers wasn't able to take a game, it's
That's okay.
it was still
Danger
a very
showed off.
impressive showing overall.
Absolutely.
GG's. Yep.
GG's.
Yeah, GG's. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was expecting Snow or Seaside finish, but again, you edged out the one way to make it happen otherwise.
I had a strong distaste for this route, but it was probably the most efficient one. But having to do the maximum number of timer challenges, the maximum number of treasure chests, the maximum number of 8-bits is not too fun.
Yeah, I was actually mentioning that at the start of this board. I'm like, generally I try to avoid mixing and matching those, but the only alternative there is going for C2 with the story mains. So you're kind of just forced to do it if you want to finish in Metro. Just kind of frustrating. So I can definitely understand your pain.
No doubt.
All right. Well, both of you, this has been just incredible to watch. I was saying this last race, I caught myself kind of just staring at the screen, not even saying anything because I'm just mesmerized by the movement. Because gosh, the amount of things you can scale in this game seems to be boundless. I was like,
yes.
Oh yeah, we can get up this cliff. Yeah, no problem at all. There's hidden stuff everywhere. Just wow, there were so many things I had never seen before. And I watched a lot of Danger streams, lurking in for all the Odyssey runs. So I've seen my fair share, and there's just still so much new stuff and new movement that was just wonderful to see you all do.
Yeah, Bingo really brings that unique movement. That's kind of the best thing about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something to add is sometimes the area were intended by the developer. Getting on top of the Knuckle-Tech arena when you first enter that area in the Sand Underground, there is a stack of 200 coins up there. So things like that were intended by the developer. And then you have stuff like, Snowdram, where it's like, oh wait, you weren't supposed to get there early. What are you doing?
All right, everybody. Well, although we're done with Bingo, we do have one more surprise run between these two runners that we're going to see after we go to a really short break. So don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back. And welcome back from the break, everybody. Again, you're watching Game Masters right here on the GDQ Hotfix. And we had 3 pretty fast bingo seeds, so it allowed us to insert a really, really quick Super Mario Odyssey run between Dangers and BP. And I'll go ahead and throw it to Dangers. What is this run?
Am I even allowed to say the name of the run on the GDQ broadcast?
You're allowed to say the name of the run.
Okay. This is Nipple Percent. It's pretty self-explanatory, really. We're just trying to get Mario's shirt off. That's it. That's the tweet.
Yeah. So the whole run is you need to collect 1,000 coins to purchase the boxer shorts and put them on. And that's the run. That's the category.
That's it.
What a great speed run.
It's awesome. It's funny to me that the Nipple Percent speedrun is older than the game itself. As soon as speedrunners found out that you could take Mario's shirt off, they were like, that has to be a meme category. We have to make this happen. And it's since day one, people have been doing this. So we're going to do it for you again today.
All right. So, well, Dangerous BP, are you ready to go? This is a very short category, only a couple, under 10 minutes. So we'll be very quick.
I'm ready.
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
All right.
Awesome.
The hunt for the boxer shorts begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, you two.
Good luck.
Good luck, Dangers.
We can talk in voice this time.
You can
Yes, we
talk.
can.
Yeah. Woo.
I could ask you for tips on which coins to get.
And all of the ones that you see. Just
Basically,
grab
yeah.
them all.
Yeah.
Live tips and tricks for the Nipple Percent run.
It's a live tutorial.
For the uninitiated, if you have somehow never seen this speedrun before, it's a pretty common like party trick speedrun, I'd say. Like almost every marathon, if you've got a little bit of time, you throw it in there. For the uninitiated, this is a speedrun to collect the boxer shorts, which you can buy in the store for 1,000 coins. So the speedrun, very simply, is collect 1,000 coins as fast as you can, buy the boxer shorts, and the timer. So that's what we're going to be doing for you today.
Now, just because it's a short category does not mean there's some awesome tricks you get to see.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going for DSS?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. DSS,
absolutely.
again, we saw Dangers pull it off in the bingo races. Just ridiculously hard trick.
It's actually just even better in this category because it takes them directly to the point hint art that they need to collect for the run.
It's true.
So even more time saved. No excuse not to do it.
Well, not being consistent is a good excuse, I think. Please just cut me some slack. No, I'm just kidding. I'll go for it. You kind of have to.
No, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, I was about to say maybe if I was playing, you could do that excuse. I'm terrible at DSS.
How much time does DSS save over the...
Generally depends on the category you're talking about. In nipple percent, it saves a lot, actually. Because, again, it takes you right to the hint art that you need to go to. In any percent, though, which is, and like most main board categories, it generally saves around 8 to 10 seconds, depending on how good your movement is doing it.
Oh.
So it's pretty significant.
Sorry, I have too many coins.
Let's go.
That's a better problem to have than not enough.
Oh no, I somehow managed to get 115.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Okay, let's go. This is my
Yeah, I think every time you just get the Luigi art and you have enough.
this is my very first nipple percent speedrun. I'm not a true OG of this game. This
Oh,
is,
you can submit the GDQ broadcast as your PV then.
yes, I
Yeah.
can. That's
Whatever
the
it ends
plan.
up being.
Let's hope I get DSS.
Yeah, we'll see. I've been getting it pretty consistent today. The third bingo wasn't so great for me, but now I'm going to fail it like 4 times in a row because that's how it works.
You got this. I believe.
Nah, it's gonna be fine. Easy
Yes.
trick.
I mean,
We're both gonna get it first try. It's gonna be perfect. Definitely not jinxing anything.
Well, you.
oh no.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
second.
mean, the nature of the trick itself is a coin flip, let's be honest.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, first try for BP, second try for Dangers. Oh, what a race we have going on here.
Oh, yes, and Dangers even did the side 2D climb that I was talking about in between the break. Very nice.
Incredible stuff. Great
Yep.
work, gentlemen.
I'm not sure if that trick has an official name. Does it, Dangers?
I don't think so, but considering you don't use it in any other category besides this one, I've been calling it on my stream the nipple-specific jump, which it
The
just sounds silly.
nipple-specific jump? How about just nipple form?
Nipple climb works too.
How about nipple drain? Is everything
Nipple, yes.
God, that's not cursed at all.
My
It's
goodness. What have I done allowing this category to be run?
I mean,
Alright.
to be honest, it's just normal Odyssey runner.
It's true. You've brought this upon yourself, man.
Yep.
Wait.
I knew when I invited y'all on.
Okay. I'm gonna have to ask. So at the beginning of Sand, you go to the town above slots, you spin, pound, roll,
Yes.
cancel into the pylon, and then you roll over to the shadow, right?
Correct. And then
Okay.
you roll over to the Sphinx.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I got you, don't worry.
Yes, yes.
Let's go.
All right, let's get chest clip now.
Beautiful chest clip from Dangers.
Thank you.
That was basically the prime example of how you want to do chest clip.
Good. No, I missed. Oh, that looked good. How did that miss? That was sad.
Honestly, I'm with you. That should have worked.
I think I was too far left. Kind of stinky.
I think you were. The ceiling is weird there. If you're too far left or too right, it pushes you out.
Oh, one more thing, BP.
Yep.
Don't forget the checkpoint.
Oh, you're right. I definitely would have.
I just saved my competitor like 4 seconds. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's like 4 seconds saved.
Mhm.
Better than nothing.
That's a lot of nipple percent.
It is.
Absolutely,
It
that
is.
is a lot.
Yeah, it's
What are
almost
the
like
top
you've done
times we
this
get?
before. Yeah.
World record.
Record's a 7:26 by Tyrone.
Yes.
Did Heather not get it back?
727, I think.
I don't think so. He might have tied it. Like, got also a 7:26, but it might be like a higher 7:26. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey there and Tyrone are cracked at this category for some reason. They're nuts.
Yeah, big shout outs to Tyrone in general, just an absolutely incredible Mario Odyssey player.
Yeah, Tyrone's just really good at the game.
Yes. Unrivaled.
I mean, for now. Surely there will be competition eventually. We just all have to catch up, right?
Yeah. He has to stop. He has to slow down first.
Right.
Oh, no, I won.
He has to allow it to happen, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone else needs to catch up first before there's competition.
I got the precise spin pound on the shadow and then just missed my roll boost after.
Love that.
I'm surprised I still remember the visual cue. Well, not really a visual cue, but like the place that's located from All Moons.
Nah, yeah. I mean, like, at least you nailed the spot, right?
That's right. Time,
So
by the way,
what
stops
the-
when we buy and when we buy it, not necessarily when we put it on. So I think it's the second, or it actually might be the first option. Hold on, let me see. I'll say it out loud. Time.
I'm almost there.
Is when you put on the boxer shorts, like, you know, the text box to put on the...
No, it's when you click the purchase button.
Once you bought them, yeah.
GG's Dangers.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
Boom!
And
First nipple percent run.
time
Yes.
for BP.
Insane.
Well done.
Was BP
Close
sub
finish,
8 on the
close
first run?
I
I think so.
think
I think so.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'll take it. That was
Very
fun.
good. Yeah, Dangers, you got a 741.
Okay, not bad.
Not
Nice.
bad, not bad at all. But yeah, there you go. That's it. That's the category. Also, Mario's feet are very wide.
Wait, they are.
Very wide, and all of his toes are like oddly the same size, and it's a little bit unnerving.
It's a very unique foot shape. I will say that. All right. Well, GG's to the both of you. Thank you for humoring me by doing this wonderful little showcase here of the run.
Thank you for allowing us
I just
to do it.
realized Richard put a giant screenshot of shirtless Mario in place of the bingo board. I'm dying now. So thank you for that. Big shout outs to Richard on tech, as always, dealing through with a couple of the issues we've had today. But also a big shout out to Dangers and BP and my co-commentator for the evening, Awesome Agron. And I wanted to give each of you just an opportunity to talk about yourselves, talk about your stream before we send you off for the night. BP, let's start with you.
All right, so I'm BP, as you know. I really like this game. I mainly run right now. I used to be a really big darker side guy, and I still really like the category, but I've shifted my focus to the 100% and all moons category. So if you're interested, in watching some long speed runs with a little bit of a intense jump farm segment and a break in the middle, then I got some content for you coming up this winter. Looking forward to pursuing for some world records in there because I got decently close over summer but had to take a break. So
Wait,
grind
winter,
starts
that's
again soon.
tomorrow.
Oh wait, it is. You're right.
Oh,
yeah,
so,
we
all right. So
really
we have look forward to it this tomorrow. On no promises.
Just casual.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, wonderful stuff. Like that was incredible. Like routing on the fly for bingo. Big
Thank you so
GGs.
much.
Awesome Agron. Next, give you a chance to shout out yourself.
Yeah, sure. So, I'm a bit of Odyssey. I'm a bit more focused on some of the side modes in the game, like bingo and talk at 2%. I've actually been on and off grind for talk at 2% for a while. I'm really itching for a PB, actually. For those of you that don't know, talk at 2% is basically the run where the bird decides your fate. So, it's a bit of a fun meme category. I also enjoy Darker Side. If I ever have time to ever consistently practice and run the category again, would be nice. Definitely want to still get an OX in the near future. 309, 308 would be great. Let's see, what else? Things not Odyssey related. I've recently gotten a little bit into competitive Catan, so that's cool. Yeah, if you're interested in something a little bit different from Odyssey, I've definitely been delving a little bit in that. And yeah, I'm not the most active streamer, but when I'm live, I'm live. Go follow.
Thank you so much. And again, excellent work carrying the comms today.
For sure.
And last but not least, Dangers, give you a bit of an opportunity to. I know you've been doing some Mario 64 recently.
I have been doing a lot. But first, I'm going to go ahead and shout out BP and Awesome Agron again. Awesome gamers, probably the best at bingo. And speaking of bingo, Bingo Sync. Is it .com? I don't even know if it's .com. But if you Google Bingo Sync, if what you witnessed today is like of any interest to you, the viewer at home, a lot of your favorite games have bingo set up by their respective communities, and you can just go ahead and like test your knowledge on the game. It's like a really fun way to play the game. So if you were at all interested in what you saw today, Bingo Sync is the way to go. Super easy to set up, super easy to play at home. Maybe play it against a friend or whatever like that. I think it's awesome. I think it's a really cool way to kind of bring in some new life, kind of like speedrunning already is. It's a new way to play a game that you already love in a different way. So check it out if you're really interested. And shout outs again to BP and Agron for being here. They're the best at Odyssey Bingo that I can think of off the top of my head. So it was super cool to bring them on. And of course, shout outs to Fant for having us on in the first place.
Oh, thank you.
It's always a pleasure. As for me, my name is Dangers. I speedrun Mario games. I've been doing Odyssey, basically any category I feel like at the time. I've also been doing Super Mario 64 16 star, Super Mario World 11 exit. Going to be doing that a little bit later tonight on my own channel, actually. It's just Mario speedrunning of all kinds. It's kind of what I'm all about. So come on by. It's cozy vibes, late night vibes, and we just play Mario all day. So
awesome. Well, thanks again for the wonderful showcase, and yeah, be sure to check out Bingo or even just get into speedrunning Mario Odyssey, because although we had some very, very good players here today, speedrunning really is for anybody. You do not need to be the best at the game to, play bingo or get into it. Just putting it on, going through the challenges, having fun. That's what it's all about. And that's something anybody here can do. So yeah, I encourage you to go and give it a shot yourselves. Now,
oh yeah, for sure. Just like some final notes, like some other people that were like really prominent throughout the community and its growth throughout the 5 years that the game has been out. We obviously have people that have ratted the game extensively, especially Neo. Oh man, Darker would not be without Neo. We also have Biako for Moons. We also have, some of the people that helped form the BTT, the Best Theoretical Times showcase. We have runners like Jambo and Mark Lucas that have helped out significantly with that. And, even the Darker BTT, even just making it, Eden, oh my goodness. so much work. Shout out to Eden.
Odyssey's community is very vast, and a lot of people have kind of contributed a piece of themselves to what it is today. And that's speedrunning is something special. It's like a very involved community effort, and it's something really cool.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The verifiers too, all those people that submit the runs, they have to be verified. Shout out to Mini Beast, Aspen, Flow.
That's right.
Dang, dude, they verify so many runs.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 plus, a lot of runs. I mean, just for like 80% on Odyssey. It's a popular game. People love to see it, me, myself included.
Very much so.
Yeah. Anyway, one last big thank you to Dangers and BP for racing bingo and Nipple Percent here today on Game Masters. And although I must say goodbye for the evening, Hotfix is not over, because coming up after a short break, we're going to have Time Capsule featuring the year 2006 in speedrunning.